This is no trick. This is our treat for you. What a matchup we have in week number 10. It's a CCL showdown as tonight DeSales takes on Hartley. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and on the CW Columbus. I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside, it's not a mask. I thought it was for a second there. The football professor, Jeff Logan. And, Jeff, so often we talk about game time conditions, and you can kind of toss them to the side, but the weather is definitely a factor here tonight.
Yeah, you can't ignore the weather out there, Randy, and this is brutal conditions. Running the football will be at a premium, and the team that has the best ball security tonight obviously will have a greater chance to win.
Both teams come in at 8-1 for the Stallions. What a season they have had. They're currently fourth in Division II, Region 8. A great head coach, a former player for the Stallions, Ryan Wiggins in year number 13, and he's got a great running back, Q squared, Quintel Quinn.
Yeah, a terrific football player, Randy, averaging 141 yards per game this season for DeSales, and he's going to play that linebacker position as well on defense. He's an impact player on both sides of the ball.
And they got by Steubenville last week, 30-18. On the other side, Hartley, the Hawks coached by Brad Birchfield. They're currently number one in Division III, Region 11. Plenty of talent on this team as well, too. They've won a couple state championships in just the last few years. A guy to watch for is J squared, Jalen January.
Yeah, this is a really good football player again, and they want to run the ball tonight. This man, Jalen January, has to have a big night. Randy's got 6 100-yard rushing games already this season. He gets 100 tonight. They got a good chance to win.
And they got by Belmont last week, 44-6. They have split the last 4 meetings, have these two teams. Are you ready for our treat to you on this Halloween? What a matchup. It's DeSales, and it's Hartley, and it's all coming up next right here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. And welcome back to Jack Ryan Field. It's time now to meet the third member of our broadcast team. To the frozen sidelines we go, and our popsicle, Mike Todd.
All right, thanks a lot, Randy. First of all, I want to welcome everyone across the country who's watching this on the Stadium Network tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, with this biting wind and this wintry mix, it isn't just going to be the run game that's going to be affected. It's special teams. In the slightest of margins, it's the placement of a punt or whether or not a field goal is made. That could be the margin of error that may or may not bring home a league championship to one of these teams, guys.
Mike, thank you very much. And Jeff, for the 4th consecutive year, we have a game in week number 10 that decides a league championship. This year, it's the Central Catholic League. Time now to check out the Honda's keys to the game for DeSales. Good Godfrey. In other words, they need a great contest from their quarterback, Reno Godfrey, tonight. In Halloween in January, they have to make sure they don't get frightened by Jalen January on the other side. He's a running back extraordinaire for the Hawks. For Hartley, Frequent Miles, as in Miles Fleming, their quarterback, a seasoned leader who's been here for a couple of seasons. His dad played on a state championship team back in 1986 for the Hawks and stopped the mighty Quinn. We're talking about Quintel Quinn, who we touched on in the open, a guy that found a lot of open room against Steubenville last week and led them to that 30-18 victory.
Randy, both of these teams are storied programs with state championships on their wall, a lot of tradition, a lot of history. And if they started this season and said we could get it down to week 10 and have it be for the CCL championship with both teams most likely headed to the playoffs, wouldn't it be a successful season? And that's where they are right now. And I got one observation. The great fans on both sides are used to seeing these teams in the playoffs and going deep into the playoffs when the weather is usually like this in November, not necessarily October. They look like they're in Canton or Massillon here for a state championship game.
Hartley won the toss and deferred. DeSales will receive on your left, and it's time now for the Dr. Pepper kickoff. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And if you look at the Hartley jerseys, those are brand new. They broke those out about 18 minutes ago. Coach Birchfield has been sequestering those, if you will, in the basement of his house since March, and they put them on right after warm-ups, so the players knew nothing about it until right before the kickoff. And right now, Mr. Hawk is having a hard time, Ryan Hawk, getting the ball to stay on the tee, so we're going to have somebody hold the ball. It'll be Angelo Evans who will hold the ball here in week number 10. Jeff, we mentioned brutal conditions right now. Temperature right around 40 degrees. The wind chill has it closer to 30, and the wind swirling at times anywhere from 15 to 35 miles an hour.
Randy, I remember watching Ohio State play Wisconsin a week ago and how difficult those conditions ended up being. Those were world-class athletes, too, that were affected by the weather. The weather will have an impact on this game, no question.
So they kick it along the ground, and it's covered right there by DeSales. They'll have the ball just short of the 35-yard line. As corralling that is Jason Velasquez. So 1st and 10 now for the Stallions. 1 second into this contest, and Reno Godfrey, the quarterback, who's also a cousin to the head coach, Ryan Wiggins, will run the offense. The 6'1", 190-pound senior. You see his numbers so far on the campaign. Injured last year, he broke his tibia, fibia, cracked his ankle, and tore all his tendons against Cov Cath. 1st and 10 from the 35. Fuller is the H-back. The handoff goes to the lone back of the backfield, and Quintel Quinn will have a short gain on the play up to maybe 2 yards. And the 37-yard line, Brian Cromwell is the offensive coordinator for the Stallions, and he's done it for 10 of the last 12 years. Owen Faulkner is a guy that sometimes slides under the radar as a wide receiver. Great hands and a good possession receiver. Also, we mentioned Dante Fuller. He's listed as a tight end, but also an H-back, and Jeff caught a touchdown pass last week as well, too, and good size in that line. They like Frank Sharoni, too, on the left side. He's been a stalwart all season for the Stallions. Gain of a couple. We'll call it 2nd and 8 now from the 37-yard line. And they'll keep it on the ground again, and nothing there again. Quinn tried to find that gap, and great penetration by that Hartley Hawk defense to shut it down, perhaps for a loss of a half yard on the play. Brad Birchfield, the head coach, is the D coordinator. Daniel Tucson is a guy to watch for, and he is just a youngster, but he can control things up front in that defensive line. And they've got the likes of Mason Sawyer and Kieron Anderson, the linebacker, and Miles Fleming, the quarterback, will play in the secondary as well, too, along with Angelo Evans, who missed the first half of the season with an injury. So we'll call it back to the 37-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8 from there, with Perrine to the bottom of the set, and Fuller, and also Faulkner. Owen now in motion. And Godfrey with a little middle screen for Faulkner, and he's got it up to the 37-yard line, and that is it. Good job to stay at home that time by Miles Fleming, big number 2, who will get the ball in offense here in just a couple plays. With 10:25 left to go in the first, and a punting situation now for DeSales.
That's a great read by Miles Fleming, Randy, because that's his film study. You were looking for this bubble screen over the middle, and you just obviously identified it very early on, able to come up and make the play.
Nathaniel Wallace-Dilling, sophomore, to do the punting now, averaging 33.2 yards per kick. We'll see how the wind affects him. And the snap floats over his head inside the 10, inside the 5, goes into the end zone, and he'll try to cover up the football, and it scoots out of the back of the end zone. And just like that, Hartley gets on the board. 9:55 left to go. Asked about the win, you found out. We'll have a safety, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Hawks.
Boy, interesting how that ball was just not catchable at all by the punter. Let's watch the snap here, directly over top. Not a chance in the world he was going to be able to come up with that. And your only hope here is to go ahead and kick it out of the end zone like he did and give up the safety for the 2 points. Don't allow the other team to recover at the end zone for a touchdown. Randy, that's an awful start, but that gives you some idea of the impact of the day.
We'll take a break. 2-0 to tally early in this one here in Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Jeff, I know we just came off of Game 7 of the World Series, and I thought Charlie Huff was gone from baseball. We just saw a floating knuckleball go back to the punter, and to no avail over his head. 2-0 now. Free kick. DeSales will have to boot it from the 20-yard line.
You know what scares me is that before we went on air tonight, you were telling me about a historic game that you saw in which you actually had 4 points, 2 snaps of a punt over the head, and it ended up with 2 safeties in the game. You've never seen it again?
You might see it tonight.
You might get it tonight.
Hartley and Academy, and Hartley won that game 31-4, but there were 2 snaps over the head of the punter that went through the end zone. We've seen one here tonight, and it's 2-0 early in this one as we're in the bottom of the first inning with 9:55 left to go. And with the free kick, they're going to opt to do it off the tee, and Randy Tawia is going to have a holder. And so the Hawks will get the 2 points and now get excellent field position, you would think. If there's any advantage to the Breeze right now, you would think the Stallions have it. There's a kick. It is high. It spins. It's going to hit at the 46-yard line. The return will start from the 45 and maybe make it up to the 48-yard line. That's about it. A return of about 2 yards. That's where the Hawks will take over on offense as Angelo Evans takes charge and cradles that football. So 1st and 10 now for the Hartley Hawks on offense with Miles Fleming, their quarterback, 6 feet, 180, and a senior, and he'll run the show for the Hawks on offense here with 9:51 left to go in the first quarter.
Fleming completing 63% of his passes so far this season. He's also run, though, Randy, for 8 touchdowns.
The backs from that eye look with one man in motion. That's Angelo Evans. And Fleming's going to boot and look and try to throw at the last second. Quinn was all over him. The pass intended along the far side for Angelo Evans. And the pass going to fall incomplete with 9:44 left to go. Evans, we mentioned, another guy to watch for the backfield is Mason Sawyer. A great frame and a great blocking fullback. Good size up front. A new face at center, Thomas DeFore, running the show tonight. Sammy Ray not playing in the contest this evening. So incomplete pass sets up a 2nd down and 10 now for the Hawks. And if you're the Stallions, you're wondering what happened here in the first 2 minutes of the contest. Hawks like those tight offensive sets. Sometimes I've called it 10 men in a phone booth. And this time they'll go with the wide out to the top. Also a wing to that side. One back in the backfield. One man wide to the bottom. That's Kenny in motion. And they'll keep it on the ground. And nice little opening off the left side here for Jalen January. January inside the 40 down the sidelines. Faulkner in pursuit, but a nice gain by the Hawks. It took a while to establish, Jeff, but a nice run and a good first down for the Hawks.
You know, Randy runs bigger than that 5'10", 190-pound frame. He is a beast coming through here. Nice pull by the right guard. Kick out block on the defensive end. And that is a terrific job of getting the ball downfield, switching the ball to the outside arm. You were my hero, young man. Good job.
17 yards on the gain against Belmont last week. He had 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. You mentioned the fact that, I think a half dozen times he's gone over 100 yards rushing. The Hawks have had 12 different times where they've had a guy go over 100 yards rushing. That includes the likes of Anderson and also Sawyer as well, too. 1st and 10 now from the Stallion 35 near hash. And this time it is Mason Sawyer and gets it inside the 31 near the 30. That's the burst they like from this guy as a fullback with a great frame too at 6'1" and 210. As you look at the defense, it shut him down after a gain of 5. It's +5 for the Stallions on defense. Hartman up front and Potts and Sharoni, and Thompson is just a sophomore. Watch Quintel Quinn playing on both sides. Mason Washington had a huge interception on the first play from scrimmage last week against Steubenville to set the tone in that contest. 2nd down, we'll call it a long 5 from near the 30-yard line. Student body left this time. And Jalen January's got room, maneuvers inside the 15 to the 10, fights, churns, gets through the traffic somehow, and takes it in for the touchdown. And just like that, Hartley up in this one, 8-0, 8:56 left to go in the first.
Well, if you think you're going to arm tackle this guy, you got your facts are not in order. This time, Jalen January takes the play into the short side of the field. Great blocking. When you've got that tight formation, Randy, it creates an opportunity to be able to break it out around the end, and you can see January just committed to getting that ball into the end zone, and that is not great tackling by the Stallions.
Our first Ramos Roofing touchdown of the evening, the 20th touchdown on the ground for January this season. And Ryan Hawk, who plays for the school with his name as a nickname, goes for the extra point. It is up. And we make it 9-0 now, and barely 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter of this contest. Take a look at the touchdown one more time in January. You talk about his gliding moves to the outside, deceptive speed, and strength in his upper body.
Look at all the linemen out there pulling in front of him, getting blocks downfield. You got to give them a lot of credit. Tony Thivner, the number 53, the left guard, pulled all the way and came out to make a touchdown creating block in the secondary.
Jeff, conditions like this, as a former running back, what's it like to play on a night like this?
Well, you don't mind it so much, Randy, as long as you can stay warm on the sidelines when you're not in the football game. Now, if you're one of these guys like Quinn who's playing on both sides of the ball, you don't have that kind of an issue. But one of the things that you do like about it is the fact that in these conditions, you're probably not going to throw the ball much, so you like the idea of being able to get a bunch of handoffs.
Friday night before the 11 o'clock news, join host Jay Richardson for AEP Ohio First Scores on Fox 28. Get the scores and highlights from the best high school football games in Central Ohio every Friday at 10:45 on Fox 28. So a touchdown and a safety already in this contest for the Hawks, and DeSales with work to do with 8:56 left to go in the first, as Mr. Hawk doing yeoman's-like effort already in this contest, ready to boot it again. 4 plays, just over half the length of the field, and just under a minute to crack the goal line. And January to get touchdown number 20, a guy that was second-team All-State as a junior. He loves music, hoops, math, video production, and track. So perhaps in a short period of time, he could be filling our shoes up here, which is warmer than it is down there.
We'll have a lot of difficulty, obviously, getting the ball on. If we get a shot of the flag, you can see that it is ripping through this stadium coming out of the west, and it is a cold wind. There's a good shot of the flag there. south end of the stadium, and so that's blowing dead across from our left to right.
And pooched along the ground. Wicked hop there, scooped up by the Stallions right at the 34-yard line. Fuller and company have it there, and now DeSales will have their second possession, but down 9-0 in this contest with just under 9 minutes left to go here in the first half. For DeSales, only one loss on the season. That was back in week number 2 to Dublin Jerome when they fell 45-14 in that contest. Riding the wave of a win over Reno Stockhatch and Company last week in Steubenville by a count of 30-18. This is a DeSales team that has a good 1-2 punch with their running and passing game. But Jeff will see what they can do when it comes to throwing the football with this breeze tonight.
They came out with 2 running plays to start the last drive, Randy, and a little bit of a center middle screen that was unsuccessful. They've only had about 1 yard of offense.
Quinn's got it. Quintel's got a gap across the 35 and glides up to the 37-yard line. So a nice gain on first down for Quintel Quinn, who comes into this contest at nearly 1,300 yards rushing on the campaign. Great game against Watterson when he had it for 22 carries and 161 yards. And Jalen Ball was a 1-2 punch with him in the backfield, but Jalen went down a couple weeks ago with a torn ACL, so now you're seeing Quintel Quinn carrying the bulk of the load when it comes to running the football for the Stallions.
Good blocking downfield by the guard Cole Potts and the left tackle Frank Sharoni. They like both of these guys. Sharoni, 6 foot, 230-pound senior, and Potts, a 6'2", 285-pound senior.
Quinn's got it again. Quintel's got room across the 45. Waits for a block down the sidelines. Inside the 40. Somehow tightropes the sidelines and has a huge gain for the Stallions. Just finally, it looks like they have their feet wet and ready to go with 8:07 left to go. You mentioned blocks, too. You got to watch that Cole Potts we're talking about. That guy is big at right guard, also 4th in the state as a heavyweight wrestler, and Quinn doing a lot of this work on his own.
Well, so many of these guys that are great linemen are also wrestlers because they've got great hand skills and able to keep their body low and to be able to get drive out there. And, you know, this is an important drive for the Stallions, Randy, because they need to answer the bell here and not let Hartley get too far ahead of them here, leading in this game 9-0.
Gain of 27 on the play for Quinn. Parker knocks him out of bounds. That's Faulkner in motion. Bottom of the top. On the delay, it goes to Quinn around the left side. Has Faulkner as an elite blocker. And will jump step inside the 32 near the 31-yard line. Hartley says they have the football, and they do. The ball comes loose along the far side of the field, and the Hawks have the football, and they'll take over. Angelo Evans tosses it to our officials. So Angelo Evans, Johnny on the spot, the free safety, 5'10", 175, and a senior. He will stay out there to be a wideout.
Watch at the end of this play, Randy. We talked about ball security being the most important thing. You got to take care of the jewels right here. And you can see here, see if the ball pops loose. Hard to tell on that angle when the ball came out or whether his knee was down. Try and get another look at it if we can.
I think that was Kieron Anderson who came up with the hit and
there's
it loose. There's
saw the ball pop loose there well in advance of his knee hitting the ground. Another great call by the officials.
Anderson with a hit, and I think it was Mr. Evans with a recovery. 1st and 10 from just across the 30-yard line, and they'll take it around the end and get it up to the 35-yard line on the play. So a nice gain on first down. Is one of the more diminutive guys on the field. Will carry the football, too. And Richard Kenny, 5'9", 165, and a sophomore. He's got 21 carries now with that game, good for 278 yards. Kind of fits the mold of other guys they've had in the past, the small wide receivers who run the jet sweep like Omar Lane and Dominic Scott and Jacob Mercier and Cameron Culver and Philip Cole, who just recently graduated last year.
I love the speed by which they get the line out in front of those backs.
2nd and 5, January time, even in late October. And falls down over one of his own blockers, but Jalen with a nice gain near the sticks, and let's see if they mark it at the 40. They say it's just enough for first down.
Good blocking up front. He felt the need here. Get your knees up, try and get yourself across the line, and that's probably as good an effort as you're going to be able to get.
7:10 left to go in the first quarter. Hawks up 9-0 in this one early. DeSales had a nice drive going. Quinn lost the handle. Quick pop that time. They handed off to Sawyer, and Sawyer got up to the 42-yard line. And I would think a scrum on a night like this might not be so bad because you get a lot of body warmth that way when you get 20 bodies together.
I don't know if that's a positive or not, Randy. Those are not friendly fire when you're in there with that many guys. Here you are from the middle linebacker spot. Great shot by our guys, and you can see how difficult it is to be able to see what's going on ahead of you. And this is where you just decide to get and become part of it. Make sure nobody gets away from you. It's going to bring up 2nd down and about 7.
Chris Sawyer, the offensive coordinator for the Hawks. They used to go big and small. They used to call it the Rhinos or the Rabbits. Toss sweep near side. And across the 45, nice little darting move by Jalen January, who gets it up near midfield. Quinn, by the way, made the hit on the play, but that's good enough for another Hawk first down.
Again, they love running into the short side of the field here, Randy. Less defenders to be able to block. Got to be really careful there on the pulling guard, Tony Thivner. Again, we talked about lockdown field, very close to a holding call there. The official looking very closely, but I'm going to tell you, great execution by that young man at the offensive line position.
And we have 6 officials on the crew tonight as we add a center judge. Basically, that's a guy that also stands in the backfield opposite of the referee. Triple stack the eye this time from midfield. And the handoff to January. Nothing there in the first attempt, but the second attempt. So on the third attempt, backs his way inside the 49 near the 48-yard line. Good job by the middle of that Stallion defense to not back down. Sean Krupla handles that defense now for Ryan Wiggins and company. It's a 3-4 after it seems like eons of running a shade 50.
Well, they got quite a tradition here at Hartley, Randy. They're chasing their 10th straight year of going to the playoffs. They're certainly guaranteed to be getting into the playoffs regardless of what happens tonight. And 4 state titles. Pretty impressive.
Second down and 9, Jeff. Again, they'll triple stack it. Let's see if they shift out of it, though, this time from the 49-yard line. They'll stay that way. And again, the third man through. That's January. Bounces it outside. Now darts inside. Now down to the 41-yard line before he's knocked down by Faulkner and company. Near the sticks, but looks to be just about the length of the football shy of a first down.
Well, what a nice motor this young man has. And again, look at the line blocking up front. They're pulling guards and they're trap blocking that front line. Again, coming on the play, Kenyon Davis, the right guard, 6 foot, 230-pound senior, number 53, comes across and creates that hole.
The timeout going to be taken on the field, I think, by the Stallions with 4:40 left to go, or are they? No. Originally, they signaled we wanted a timeout, and now there is no timeout being taken according to our referee, and that is Craig Gumpf for this contest tonight. So mark it back at the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 from there with just over 4.5 left to go in the first quarter. All Hawks early in this one. 2 teams top ranked in their divisions in 2 and 3 in the state. And great penetration that time for the Stallions. Coming through was number 72, Joshua Martin Hayden. Big man on your screen there to make the hit. Comes in with 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 6'4", 220, and a junior. They like his frame.
Yeah, they like him, and he's long. He's got those long arms. He's able to come in there and make that play and bear hugs the running back all the way to the ground. And Brandon brings up 4th down and about 1.5. They're going to go.
Well, the Hawks rarely would punt in this scenario, so they'll go for it here. And they need nearly 2 from the 42 of the Stallions. Toss near side. Can they get the penetration? They do, but I think they're near the sticks and may have the first down inside the 40 on the play as January turns the corner, and as he gets to the sidelines, steps across the 40, and that'll be enough to move the sticks. And the 4th down is converted by the Hawks.
You know, you see all that open field up above, and you want to go out there and run that way. And coaches love to run into the boundary because there's less defenders to block. Good job on the perimeter, though, by Mason Sawyer, number 4, with a great block on the corner to be able to create the opportunity for the first down.
It's the 13th time in 28 attempts teams have converted in 4th down against DeSales. Rolling is Fleming, looking, gunning downfield, and the pass incomplete. I think Richard Kenny thought he had it inside the 20-yard line.
It looked to me like he kind of lost control of where he was on the field, thinking he had to get his feet down to be in bounds. Took his eye off of it just a touch as the ball came in. Pretty good throw, though, by Miles Fleming on very difficult conditions. And, Randy, that is a catchable ball.
2nd down and 10. Of course, there is no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school football in the state of Ohio.
I promise you there are those that you cannot catch.
But legally, every ball is catchable. Student body right for Fleming. Try to stretch it out and find a gap. And, boy, great job by the DeSales defense to flow from sidelines to sidelines as Isaiah Thomas comes up from the secondary to make the hit.
That's a good example of why running into the boundary sometimes is a little bit better. This play takes so long to develop. Same number of blockers out there, but too many defenders, and DeSales does a terrific job of stretching that play from one end of the field, one hash mark, all the way to the sideline.
So for the Hawks now, it's going to be a 3rd down. 3rd, they need just about 13 from the 42. They have to get a first down at the 29-yard line. Now, with Hartley, they could run it on 2 plays, but we'll see if they look for somebody like Angelo Evans, number 44, the wideout. He's gone wide to the bottom of the formation here. Fleming on the quarterback draw inside the 40. to maybe the 38-yard line. It's going to be 4th down from there. Big play early in this contest, I think defensively especially, Jeff, for the Stallions.
Yeah, get back to the original line of scrimmage basically and bring up that long 4th down. And Randy, a lot of coaches here would be playing the field position game, especially in a night where the weather is so difficult to be able to move the football. But you can see right here, Brad Birchfield wants nothing to do with it in terms of punting the football. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
4th down and 9 as we mark the ball from the 38-yard line with just about 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Fleming on a long count. Lost the handle. It will fall on it back at the 45, and DeSales will take over there. Again, Fleming started to move the ball a little behind him and is forced to just go ahead and cradle it at the 45. DeSales gets it back in excellent field position. And we'll take a break. 2:59 left to go in the first. The Hawks lead 9-0 on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Big stand by the Stallions, down 9. They get the ball 1st and 10 now from their own 45-yard line. Under 3 left to go in the first quarter. Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan, Mike Todd, glad to have you aboard. Week number 10, the swan song for high school football action here on the CW Columbus. And Godfrey going to hand it off on the jet sweep. It goes to Owen Faulkner looking for a gap. He's got something to the outside. As they stretch out that defense, and he gets across midfield and pick up about 6 or 7 on the play. And, Jeff, it is time now for the Aspen Dental Smile Cam. Aspen Dental has offices in Hilliard, Delaware, and several other Central Ohio locations. Schedule a new patient appointment at aspendental.com. Aspen Dental, simply easier. Great looking teeth.
Yep. You know, DeSales out there, no huddle offense, but Randy, they do not go up tempo. They take their time getting the plays called from the sidelines and make their way up to the ball.
Reno Godfrey likes government, cooking, and music. He'd like to make some sweet music and cook up a big play here on the 2nd down. And it's Quintel Quinn gliding inside the 45. Again, Jeff, how difficult is it to be patient like that, waiting for your blocks to establish? Because I know as a running back, you're a little quicker than the offensive lineman, so that's hard to do at times, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to go, go, go. And part of it is, Randy, just getting enough experience back there to know when you can take off, put that foot in the ground. And you can see here is when he decides to accelerate up the field and allows things to open up ahead of him. So having great vision is one of the keys to that, and getting yourself, going north and south gives you the opportunity to be able to make that happen.
Folks joining us nationally, Jeff Logan, outstanding running back during his days at The Ohio State University, eons and eons ago.
100 years.
No, stop. 1st and 10 from the 40 now, the Hawks. That's Faulkner in motion. And they have the keeper this time by Reno Godfrey, and he's going to get inside the 40 down to around the 36-yard line. He'll pick up about 4 on the play with 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. And just a reminder, at the start of the second quarter, our sideline reporter Mike Todd will talk with Dan Garrick, principal of St. Francis DeSales High School, and in his day also an outstanding basketball coach. So that's coming up at the start of quarter number 2.
Good ball faking back there by Reno Godfrey, trying to keep that throwing hand warm in the little pocket that he's got there.
Officially a gain of 3 on the play, so they need 7 more. And this time it's Quinn around the outside and brought down at the 36-yard line. Great penetration by that defense of the Hawks as Quinn tried to turn the corner. There was nothing there whatsoever. We welcome high school football fans from around the country who are watching this game on the Stadium Network. Stadium is your new way to watch national sports. The only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium has live and classic games, daily live studio, and original programming as well. Check your local listings or go to watchstadium.com for more information. Hello, everyone watching on Stadium tonight. We've had, I think, 3 opportunities in the past couple years, Jeff, to have our game nationally on Stadium. We thank the folks for joining us. Quinn on the carry this time. Quintel to the 35, churns the legs, keeps him going despite the contact. Is brought down at around the 32-yard line with about 40 seconds left to go, and a big play here for the Stallions.
Well, you got to be impressed with the way that DeSales has been able to chunk out plays on this drive. Good job at taking care of the football that time. You can see Quintel Quinn, who had the fumble earlier in the football game, covers up there and able to make sure that he secures the football.
And I got to think here on 4th down by 9. Late in the first quarter, they're going to go for it. Let's see if they do it on the last play of the first quarter or perhaps the beginning of the second quarter. They're making their way towards the sideline, so that will do it for the first 12 minutes of action. A safety and a touchdown run by Jalen January, and at the break, 9-0 Hartley over DeSales. This is week number 10 of Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Welcome back as we start the second quarter at Jack Ryan Field. Hartley leading 9-0. Triple stack DeSales on a 4th and 2. The handoff goes to the second man through, and that is Thompson. Thompson had to have the ball touch the 30-yard line. He's shy of the stick, so the Hawks will take over. 4 seconds into the second quarter. Let us head down to the sidelines where Mike Todd is standing by with a very special guest. Michael?
All right, thanks a lot, Randy. Happy to be joined by Dan Garrick, the principal at DeSales High School. And Dan, you guys have a lot of things going on right now at DeSales that you're excited about.
Absolutely, Mike. It's been a great fall. The school year's off to a great start. Enrollment's solid. And, you know, what's really kind of neat, we're in the middle of a campaign to upgrade some of our facilities to continue to deliver what our students need to be ready for the next step of their journey. And so we are ready to do some construction right after the first of the year for a new student service center in the location of our past, what was the convent when the sisters lived there years ago. So that's going to be converted to use for students. Our guidance center will be there, as well as an opportunity for advancement to operate out of there, and a place for our alumni to come home to.
I know that we've got a lot focused on football tonight, but you've got some lady athletes at DeSales who are doing your school proud as well.
Absolutely. Tonight is an exciting night. It's unfortunate we have a divided community tonight because our girls, as we speak, are playing at Worthington Kilbourne in the regional semifinal tonight against Bishop Watterson. So we're playing Bishop Hartley here in week 10 for a CCL crown, and playing Bishop Watterson for a regional semifinal. So, you know, certainly an exciting time. And who would have thought week 10, when I left the house this morning, it was about 60 degrees and it's snowing. So who would have thought?
Don't worry, if it's Ohio weather and you don't like it, just stick around for 10 minutes. Dan Garrick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
On a 3rd down and 6, we got a flag on to play the first in this contest. January, a couple runs that picked up 4 yards, and now they're going to get it to the 37-yard line, but we'll wait to see from Greg Gumpf what the call is on the field. So it's holding against the Hawks. Do you take it here or do you decline it?
Well, this is an important decision here. You start thinking about this from a standpoint of what is the right decision to go with, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and take the penalty and move them back, which I think is the right thing to do. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and force that team to maybe throw the football, try and put it up and maybe get a turnover here, but I'd be very, very surprised. Looks like they may have changed their mind. Now they're bringing the ball back.
Well, for most mortals, you would say a 4th down and 5 would be too long to go for, perhaps. But with the Hawks, you never know what they'll do on 4th down. So they're moving the ball back to the 35-yard line, actually to the 36. It'd be 4th down and 5 from there. They need to move the chains along the far side of the field. So it'll be 4th down and 5 if they decline the penalty.
And they're going to do it.
Apparently it's still 3rd down. Now we change it to 4th down. 4th down, and we had motion up front. And taking the ball around the left side is Fleming. Fleming gets it back to around the 34-yard line. So on a 4th down play, they didn't change the sticks the last minute, and that looked like an incongruent play there. You couldn't tell if there was perhaps a false start or an encroachment. Either way, they run the play, and that was a 4th down play, so the Stallions will have the football with 10:09 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, Randy, it looked like all kinds of movement on that line. Somebody had to have been in the neutral zone before that ball was snapped, but no flag called. And Randy, this is like a turnover as far as I'm concerned. It won't go down in the books as such, but it certainly looks like a turnover when you get the ball in this position. And you can see here, quarterback had zero opportunity to be able to make things happen. Good closing job on defense.
I guess the other concern is, too, we saw what happened when you try to snap the ball in this direction for DeSales. In the first quarter, it floated and turned out to be a safety. So maybe the Hawks thinking the safer route is to go ahead and run the ball on the 4th down play. But now it gives DeSales excellent field position at the 34 of the Hawks. Quinn around the right side to the short side of the field. Gets maybe a yard or two before he's pushed out of bounds by Mason Sawyer, another guy that plays on both sides of the football. Not only a fullback, but also a linebacker as well, too. Last year, 89 tackles and first team all-district for Mason Sawyer. And we'll call it a gain of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9 as we approach 10 minutes left to go here in the first half. 9-0, Hawks up early in this one.
Randy, in the first quarter of play, Hartley had 77 yards of total offense. The total offense for DeSales, 25 yards. We've had 1 passing yard in the football game.
I missed it.
I did too.
I think that was the pass to Faulkner, wasn't it?
It may well have been.
2nd down and 9 for the 33-yard line. Godfrey straight back to throw, looking downfield, and intended for Fuller. The pass falls incomplete at the 15-yard line. That was a pass play I believe they ran last week when they threw it to Fuller from about 25 yards out that yielded a touchdown against Steubenville.
Again, I would suggest good film study here by the Hawks because they were all over this. Watch the double coverage here on the receiver. Contact made, but the ball was clearly well over the head and no interference call there.
3rd down and 9 now for the Stallions. 10 minutes left to go. So you mentioned both teams coming in at 8-1 on the campaign. For the Hawks, their lone loss was against Clinton Massey in week number 5, 24-14. 2 backs in the backfield. And Quinn, they fake the handoff to him. Godfrey's going to roll and tuck. 35. Reno inside the 30. Dives forward to around the 26. He's going to be a couple yards shy of the first down, so it's going to be 4th down and a long 2 at least from there.
Now, Randy, you've had the opportunity with your radio stints being able to see both of these teams play multiple times. I'm amazed by what they're doing on 4th downs here. They don't even care about punting the football. It's just, let's line it up and go.
Well, DeSales, are you ready? 11 of 14 on 4th down conversions coming into this contest tonight for that man, Reno Godfrey and company.
I like the call here because now you're down inside the 30-yard line. This is clearly an opportunity to try and convert on 4th down. How about a little play action pass here? You got single coverage up top.
And there's the boot by Quinn, dumps underneath, pass is caught by Fuller. He doesn't get the first down. I don't think he got it. Mason Sawyer made the hit on the play, and Sawyer thinks he stopped him shy of the sticks. We'll have to see along the far side of the field. It will be close with 9:08 left to go in the first.
You know, too long a development here for this play. You got the quarterback reverse pivoting out, taking a lot of time. He's got to visually then get hooked back up with where those receivers are. If we're going to try and throw that ball quick out into the flat, run the flood routes out there, get a bunch of receivers, and go ahead and throw the football, but sprint the quarterback out without the reverse pivot.
Big measurement early in this one. Sawyer thought he stopped him shy. We'll see as they try to attempt to bring in the sticks during the hurricane here. And indeed, he is short of the first down, and Hartley gets it back.
Well, I guess one good deed deserves another. Both teams have basically turned the ball over to one another on 4th down plays here. And we're back to where we started with Hartley taking the ball right about the 25-yard line.
It's the Electrical Trade Center Fan Cam. Energize your career today by becoming an electrical apprentice with the Electrical Trade Center. For more information, call this number. I'll give it to you twice, 614-463-5282. That's 614-463-5282. Nary an unbundled fan here tonight. Everybody's bundled up like electrical tape. On the toss to the near side, not a whole lot there that time as they try to turn the corner. Mason Sawyer cannot find that opening with 9 minutes left to go in the first half.
Really good job closing there by the outside linebacker, Jonathan Thompson, coming up to make the play. That's him, number 21, just a sophomore. He's got an interception on the season. Watch again how he's able to fend off the blockers and able to get in there and make the play.
He's forced to play now because of that injury I mentioned earlier to Jalen Ball. He started at that outside linebacking slot and also in the offensive backfield alternating with Quintel Quinn. So a loss back to around the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and a baker's dozen from there. Flags before we start the play. I think we'll have a false start called on the offense. 8:29 left to go. And mark it back 5. Again, our referee tonight is Greg Gumpf. So microphone not working for Greg Gumpf right now. So mark it back to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down from there. 2nd down and long. They need about 18 for the first down. They'll keep it on the ground to the far side, and right now it's been a defensive stalemate here between the 15-yard lines, if you will, and they try to turn their corner that time, and a good job by the Stallion defense to stay at home. Thompson on the bottom of the pile again as January couldn't find an opening to the left side.
It's been a pretty prolific offense for the Hartley Hawks all season long. 8-1 record, Randy, averaging nearly 35 points a game. They've been pretty dominant heading into the playoffs here, with this being the CCL championship game.
They've scored 99 points in the second quarter so far this season, yielded just 40. DeSales has scored 72, given up 54. Third down and a furlong. Still about 18 yards for Fleming and company. See if Miles attempts to put it up. Trouble with the snap, catches it, and a pass incomplete. That sailed on him. He was looking for Angelo Evans, I think, but nearly winding up in the breadbasket of Jonathan Thompson.
Jonathan Thompson looked like the intended receiver there. Again, great read by that young sophomore football player, looking into the eyes, and looks like we may have had a flag on the play. Here's
yes,
the
we
call
have another
by
flag.
The official.
And again, it's a penalty on the offense for the false start. And the penalty is going to be declined. So with that being said, now the Hawks will be trying to punt. There's our officiating crew. Greg leading the squad. John Whitson we had last week as a referee, and he is the 6th official tonight as that center judge opposite the referee in the black hat in the offensive backfield to the top middle of your screen, if you will. And a whistle and a timeout going to be taken by Hartley now with 7:28 left to go in the first half. We'll pause for the cause as well, too. 9-0 Hawks lead on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. 9-0 here in this one. Folks, just a reminder, this weekend the Red Hot Ohio State Buckeyes take on the Maryland Terrapins for a preview and in-depth analysis. Don't miss the best pregame show around, The Football Fever, Saturday 11 on ABC 6. So it is now a 4th down and 18 for Bishop Hartley.
Yeah, we've already seen one mistake in the kicking game where we had the ball sail over the head of the DeSales punter, ended up being a safety. I think that was what the timeout was all about, Randy, to make sure you got your special teams together.
Thomas Carney with a rugby-style punt, and it goes up and goes almost nowhere. It's going to hit at the 26-yard line and eventually be down. So that's a net of probably just about 10 yards and no more than that. So great field position for the Stallions, who've been knocking at the door and yet to open it.
You know, Randy, this is not going to go in Steve Bassford's stats anywhere, but that is the 3rd Logan turnover in a row on these possessions. Both teams failing on 4th down. They're right about where the ball is set now, and now you have a punt that goes like 3 yards. That's the same as turning the ball over. So
is there
again, DeSales has a terrific opportunity.
Is there a book on these Logan turnovers?
Oh man, there should be, because that should count as a turnover.
Do they come in apple and cherry, by the way? 1st and 10 from the 26, 7:17 left to go in the first. That is Faulkner in motion. The handoff goes to Quinn. Quintel with a little hop step at the line of scrimmage and burrows his way inside the 22 near the 21. So a nice gain on 1st down. He'll pick up about 5 or so as we approach 7 minutes left to go in the first half.
You know, the little hopping around jump step in there is sometimes can be effective, but one of the things you've got to do is you got to put your foot in the ground and get upfield and make things happen. And that's one of the things. Get your pads lower if you're Quintel Quinn, instead of running so upright through that line of scrimmage. Get yourself going forward, get a good lean. That's what J.K. Dobbins does so well for the Ohio State football team, is he's got that good, solid forward lean.
Deion Drake will check into the defensive line now for the Hawks on the 2nd down play. That's Quinn. Quintel's going to bounce it and have room. 15 inside the 11, near the 10-yard line, and perhaps down to the 9. If he does so, he's got a 1st and goal Stallions with 6:32 left to go in the first half. We knew things would be different tonight because of the weather conditions, and Jeff, it's been an entertaining, although kind of a first half where you're still looking for that momentum for either team.
Again, the play designed to get inside the tackle, but that's where the hole was. He was able to bounce the play and get it down to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be 1st down and goal to go at the 10.
As the ball is touching the 10-yard line. So Quinn, the lone back in the backfield. Faulkner to the bottom along with Johnson, and Quintel Quinn's got the handoff. He gets inside the 7-yard line before he's undercut there. Good job by Sawyer and company on defense to end the play. Here and now for Quintel Quinn, nearly 1,300 yards rushing coming into this contest. Had great games against Kettering-Alter, where he had 17 carries for 147 yards, and also against Belmont, where he had 18 carries, 155 yards, and a touchdown.
You can't criticize this young man, averaging 141 yards a game. Randy, 14 rushing touchdowns, but I'd like to see him get a little bit lower. He's got that tall frame at 6'1", but he's got to get his pads down.
2nd down and goal now inside the 7-yard line for the Stallions, down by 9. It's Faulkner in motion. And Quinn off the left side gets it inside the 5 to maybe the 4-yard line before he's knocked down on the play. Helping to make the hit for the Hawks, big number 34, Kieran Anderson. There's number 34. And Kieran last year, 78 tackles. He likes Latin and calculus. And he's part of the diversity club at Hartley.
Boy, good read by him, playing that middle linebacker spot. You got to be able to flow to the football. Again, great effort in there, and give credit to Sumo Kesley again, coming in and making a good play as well.
Sumo, a letter winner last year as well, too, for the Hawks. 3rd down and goal from the 4. Approaching 5 left to go in the first half. That's Quinn trying to stretch it out, looking for some help. Can he take the angle to the pylon? He will scoot into the end zone for the touchdown. Quintel Quinn with 5:06 left to go gets touchdown number 15 on the ground, and then it was 9-6.
He's averaging 7.4 yards a try, and he's pretty effortless in terms of the way that he goes, and he saw the opening there in the corner of the end zone and knew nobody was going to catch him, and he just sails into the end zone. Good read by cornerback Reno Godfrey as he was riding the running back, decided to give him the football, and you can see how easy it was to be able to take it into the end zone.
Another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Now Randy Tuia to go 34 of 36 on extra points for big number 99 on the campaign. High snap, put down, kick is up, and plenty of leg. Kick is good. 9-7 the count in this one with 5:06 left to go here in the first half at Jack Ryan Field. The lead down to 2. This is the reason why. Quinn looking for the gap, finding it outside and cutting it to 2 right here on Stadium and the CW Columbus.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Lights. DeSales scoring, going up, now trailing by 2. Watch the great block out here on the perimeter by number 62, Cole Potts. Didn't hold and pancakes him right at the corner, and that's what creates the opportunity for Quintel Quinn to be able to go into the end zone. Always nice to give one of those big uglies a little bit of credit.
2 points for the takedown and 6 for the touchdown. There's your scoring summary. 5 plays, 26 yards, 2:12 off the clock as Quinn takes it in for the score, and a brand new game now at 9-7. Approaching halftime. Remember, Hartley won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. And coming up at halftime, we've got some special guests we'll tell you about in just a little bit. But a great crowd here tonight, despite the weather. And I can bet we have a huge television audience here tonight, Jeff, because of the conditions.
I'm perfectly warm up here. I'm fine.
I wonder why.
We ought to check in with Mike Todd and see if he's feeling exactly the same as we are.
You mean Frosty? He just gave us a glare. There's a line drive kick. It's going to scoot inside the 15-yard line. Taken back there from the 11 up to the 15.
My
and what a solid hit.
Goodness.
Right at the 20-yard line on the play. Great job for the Stallions by big number 4 making the hit. That's Isaiah Thomas.
It was like Spider-Man. He came from nowhere to be able to make the play. I think your kickoff return is feeling pretty good, and then all of a sudden a flash from out of nowhere to make the play. Special teams especiale. That was perfect.
Richard Kenny meet Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah meet Richard, and there you go, and make it 1st and 10 now from the 21-yard line. 5:01 left to go in the first half. The margin is 2. CCL crown goes to the winner of this one. Now the handoff up across the 25 to the 26. Gain of just about 5 on the play for the Hawks. It'll be 2nd down and 5 from there. Good job by big number 50, Mr. Hartman, there to help make the hit on the play. As that time it goes to the wing back, if you will. And big number 30, that's Marcellus Parker on the carry that time.
Well, what a load Marcellus is at 6 foot 210. He's only carried the ball 40 times this year, so he's not used very often. But certainly a different running style. Good change of pace from Jalen January.
Just about halfway home. We'll call it 2nd down and 6 now. 4.5 left to go from the 26-yard line. Keep it on the ground. January with a stutter step and backs his way up to the 35, maybe the 36. And that's enough for a Hawk first down. They would love a long drive here, Jeff, to really evaporate that clock and get the ball to start the second half.
Really good push by that offensive line. It all begins with the center, Thomas DeFour, who's leading the charge there. Just get on the train there and keep pushing, make things happen up front. That offensive line doing a pretty good job.
On the first down play, again, they keep it on the ground, and January turns off the left side. We'll get it up from the 35 up to the 40, so halfway home again now. 2nd down and 5. Under 4 left to go here in the first half of this one.
It looks like Hartley's trying to go a little bit more up-tempo here, trying to run plays a little bit quicker. Feel like as though they've got DeSales a little bit on their heels here on this drive.
And the Hawks come back up with 1 wide out to the bottom of the set. Again, look how tight things are in the offensive line, including the H-back or wing, if you will. And again, it's January and just finds the gap and pushes and moves the defense and has enough for the first down, it looks like, as he crosses the 45-yard line. Again, on the hit is number 72, Joshua Martin Hayden.
Remember, we're talking about that lean, Randy, when I was talking about DeSales running backs. And watch the lean here. Forward, making sure that you're falling forward and getting that extra yard or two, keeping those pads low. And that's exactly what Jalen January is all about.
And the other thing you talk about is accelerating into contact, and Jalen loves to do that. First and 10 for the 46-yard line. He's got it again. And he takes it outside, and he's got room midfield. January 45-40, rumbles down the sidelines, knocked down by Thomas, a flag on the play. Knocked down at the 36-yard line. Big gainer that time with 3:08 left to go in the first half for the Hawks.
This is going to be one of those illegal crackback blocks, Randy, and unfortunately it did not have to be made. You know, these are the ones that you would be showing over and over again in your film room, congratulating the young man on one of these slobber knocker hits. But unfortunately now, the way that it is in football, you cannot do that. And you can see there the call going against Hartley.
Personal foul, blindside block, offense, number 44, 15-yard penalty from the start of the foul. First down.
Again, these are ones that in the past were celebrated, but now in the safety issue, and you're going to see the block right here, boom, he sees him, boom. And really helmet to helmet there as well as they came in. And again, probably a block that didn't need to be made. Watch from the end zone camera, and you're going to see just on the right side of your screen, the tail end of that block right there. You can see the finish of it, and it creates a first down and 12.
It's from the spot of the infraction, too, so that's why it's first down and just more than 10 now with the two backs in the backfield. And it goes to Sawyer. Mason off the left side. Another flag on the play. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 46. But there's a hanky resting at the 44, and after not hearing from Greg up for a couple of plays, Mr. G Squared is going to have another call for us here with 2:49 left to go in the first half.
Chop block.
Wow, so we've gone from blind side to chops now.
Personal foul, illegal chop block, offense, number 58 and 59, 15-yard from the spot of foul.
Randy, the reason they call it on 58 and 59 chop block ID is when you get one guy who's got him up and then somebody goes low with the block, and you can see right there at the bottom of your screen we had a blocker that had the defensive lineman engaged, and then another one came in low under the waist of him, and that's going to create the chop block. Again, this is a safety issue in football, and I think it's a good rule.
So the Hawks going the wrong direction. First down and nearly 27 now for Fleming, rolling to the short side, looking, and then throwing at the last minute. It's almost across the line of scrimmage when he tossed that pass. It falls incomplete. 2:37 left to go in the first half. Now, reminder coming up at halftime. Stick around for the Thursday Night Lights halftime show. We'll have our two Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week. We'll have interviews with the DeSales Band Director Bill Steller, and I will talk to the Bishop here in the Central Ohio area. Robert Brennan will join us, and we'll have first half stats and highlights as well, to all that coming up at halftime when I talk to the 12th Bishop of Columbus, Diocese of Columbus, Bishop Robert J. Brennan. That's coming up on the halftime show. On the delay, the handoff, looking for gap outside and finding it as January, but only up to around the 33-yard line. So it's going to be third down and long. If you're DeSales, do you contemplate a timeout anytime soon?
Well, Randy, if you look at the clock, we've got 2 minutes, 22 seconds remaining here, and I think what they're going to do is make sure they get this ball in good field position and then try and make something happen. At the beginning of the football game, Hartley won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so Hartley's going to get the ball back to start the quarter number 3.
Scoreboard says it's 21 yards. I say it's 23 with the ball resting at the 33-yard line. Numbers on Jalen January already over the century mark here in the first half for this contest. One wide either side, two backs in the backfield. That's Richard Kinney in motion. On the jet sweep, gives ground inside the 30. Can he turn the corner? He cannot. Whipped around on the play by Jordan Johnson, coming up from the secondary to make the hit with 1:44 left to go. And now let's see if the Stallions burn a timeout.
Well, how about the aggressiveness of this DeSales football team? And looked like there was a flag thrown near the end of the play.
There is one resting at the 29-yard line. Holding is the call. If you're the Stallions, they assume you'll decline this.
Absolutely. You're going to be fourth and a mile anyway. This is where you want to bring punt block and get after him, because remember last time.
Offense, number 44. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Angelo Evans having a little trouble here in this series. Crackback block, and now the holding call.
So the Stallions will take a timeout with 1:44 left to go. Down by 2, trying to get the ball back, and more importantly right now with the wind, trying to force Hartley to do something with that football on 4th down. Bruce Wayne's cousin, Kate Kane, carries the legacy of vigilante social justice on the streets of Gotham City. Don't miss a new episode of Batwoman, Sunday night at 8, followed by Supergirl right here on the CW Columbus. Is the party still at your place for Batwoman followed by Supergirl?
Absolutely. I assume you got your invitation?
And then Colosso Jeff comes by at 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah. Again, I will ask. Did you not get your invitation?
You know, I think it must be somewhere in the mail still. I didn't get it.
Doggone it.
Lost in cyberspace? Was it an email or actual snail mail?
Well, it was last week.
Okay. And I'm going to miss that. I'll have to watch it by myself then. Eric Carmen, all by myself.
Mike Todd was there.
Mike Todd's
came.
everywhere. He's
Yeah.
omnipresent. I can't find him anymore. He was disguised as Frosty the Snowman.
Am I the only guy who watches Batwoman? I love that show.
Yeah,
Do you?
It's very, very good. It's
I
done
watch
very
it
well.
too. I wanted to watch it at Jeff's house. The rolling punt this time by Carney's going to hit at the 43-yard line. And we'll dribble down to around the 40 before it's exhausted. 1:34 left to go. All right, you're the Stallions. You have the ball back. Are you fighting the win? Are you with the win? And what do you try to do here?
Well, pretty decent kick, first of all. Getting that ball off after having shanked the last one. And Randy, they're going with the rugby kick there and trying to get the ball downfield into that wind. And I think, if I'm looking at the flag down there, and maybe Mike Todd can weigh in on this as well, because I got it coming directly from one side of the field to the other. But I would think there'd be a little bit of advantage here, Mike, for DeSales with maybe a little bit of the wind at their back. Is that right?
That is right. The wind is actually blowing, I would say, a little to the north. So absolutely, DeSales has the advantage, but this wind is changing direction every 10 seconds.
There is the breeze, and it's not whispering Louise. It's blowing big time, at times gusting over 35 miles an hour. 92 ticks left in the first half. Godfrey's going to hand it off. Where is he? He's going to go long downfield, looking for his receiver who broke the pattern at first. He was looking on the play for Jordan Johnson, but he had a hesitation at around the 45-yard line.
Yeah, it made no sense. Jordan Johnson actually engaged the defensive back like he was blocking downfield. What you got to do is you got to put a little sugar on that guy and make a move, get some separation. Quarterback looking for that receiver, but they were engaged in contact, really created by the receiver more so than the defensive back.
Define sugar.
Sugar is giving them something they can't see. Just,
Okay.
man, make it go.
The kind of moves you used to have, right?
That's sometimes it's even sweeter than Dixie Crystal sugar.
Thank you very much. 2nd down and 10 from the 41-yard line. I don't know what he's talking about. 1:26 left to go. One man in motion. That's Faulkner. Quinn's going to get the handoff this time. Quintel trying to find a gap to the outside. Far hash mark is where he goes and gets it up as he falls forward to around the 48-yard line. So a nice gain on 2nd down, but it's going to be 3rd from there, and they'll need about 3 as we approach 1 minute left to go in the first half. And the cushion right now for 2 for the Hawks.
Again, DeSales not an up-tempo team by design, but they've got to make sure that they get themselves to the line, get the play called, get things done here on 3rd down. Randy, this normally this is going to be a running play for DeSales. How about a little play action this time and try and get one of the cornerbacks kind of sneaking into your backfield and see if you can hit for a home run.
Are you, the Hawks, here contemplating a timeout perhaps after this play if you hold them?
Yeah, I think with the fact that they're going to get the ball at the start of the second half, that I don't think they're going to worry too much about that.
It's Faulkner in motion. And Godfrey's going to keep it, and he's not going to get up to the 40. And the
like
ball
it's
squirted
loose.
free, and the Hawks, I think, have it. The ball came free. It looked like the Hawks had it, but it's going to maintain possession for the Stallions. We'll have to see that one again from a distance here. Looks like it squirts out.
Again, the exchange right there, and no question, quarterback just drops the football. That could be the weather conditions,
No, it's
cold
stripped
hands
out
out
on
there.
the play.
Went down to the ground initially.
Kenyon Davis stripped it out as he was down. It looked like his left knee was touching on the play. And indeed, the Hawks will take a timeout with 16.6 left to go. So Davis strips the football. Looked like Godfrey's knee was down anyway. But the Hawks will burn the timeout, and now it's a 4th down scenario.
Yeah, they're going to take the timeout because what they want is for DeSales to have to make a decision here, maybe to punt the football and see if you can come up with a block or maybe a big return here.
Now, you're a guy that's not used to plays on 4th down. Do you know already in the first half, how many plays have we had on 4th down that were not punts?
Oh, my goodness. I'll bet there have been 6.
Close. Your mileage may vary. We're at 5.
My goodness. And the effectiveness of being able to really create those first downs on 4th down, what's our percentage, Steve, on that in terms of 4th down conversions? If we've had 5 of them, I'll bet we haven't converted more than 1.
Well, the thing is now, if you're DeSales, do you go for it here on 4th down because there's only 16 seconds left to go, or are you going to give Hartley too much time to try something late in the first half?
Looks like they're lined up in traditional offense here. Maybe a quick kick.
Yep. Faulkner lost the handle, and now he will boot it. It's a 4th down punt. It's just almost like from a wingback, if you will. And there's the punt. It's going to trickle out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. With 10.1 seconds left to go, the Hawks will get it back. Now, I've seen Hartley, under normal conditions, try things. But with this breeze right now, I would think perhaps they'll go ahead and take a knee. And I thought we might have had a flag on the play as well, too. We do have one right here at the 47-yard line. So Greg Gumpf is going to come our way and let us know what's going on. Or will he? The flag was picked up, and the ball was marked at the 24-yard line with 10.1 left to go. Perhaps it blew out of a pocket. So Fleming under center. See if he just takes a knee, or if they run it. They'll hand it off on the play. January's got a nice gap across 30, 35. January 40, 45, and carries the pile across midfield. Look at the legs churn, and look at the leap by one of the Stallions to try to end the play.
And they couldn't get a timeout fast enough, Randy, to be able to stop it, and time is going to run out with Hartley leading in this football game 9-7.
Disjointed at times, but so entertaining in this first half. And the curtain call of the regular high school football season at the break. It is Hartley on top of DeSales 9-7 in this contest. And let's go down right now to Mike Todd standing by with the head coach of the Hawks.
Well, Coach, not only are you battling a great team like DeSales, you're battling the elements. So back and forth this first half, about what you expected?
Oh, yeah, they got a great football team, and it's a battle, and both teams have got their fair share of breaks, and, we got to do a better job second half.
What's the message to your team at halftime?
Well, I got to cut down the penalties, obviously. I mean, that's been a difference of us really having a good lead and not. And I think the wind is a big factor. The team going this way has had a huge advantage. So probably going to factor in the second half, but who knows which way the wind's going.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Thanks. Appreciate it. Guys, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. Our halftime show just around the corner. Stick around for that, including interviews and highlights. And I will talk to Bishop Robert J. Brennan, the 12th Bishop of Columbus, Diocese of Columbus. 9-7 the tally at the break. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus.
Hartley on top of DeSales by a score of 9-7. Welcome to the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the Stadium Network and the CW Columbus. I'm your halftime host, Mike Todd, and it is now time to recognize our Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Lifeline of Ohio is proud to recognize Central Ohio Scholar Athletes. Olivia Hager is captain and a 4-year varsity athlete on the Bishop Hartley swim team. She's also the captain for the Columbus Hawks Water Polo Club. Olivia is a Bishop Hartley ambassador and member of the National Honor Society. She's talented at playing the piano and singing and has completed dual enrollment with the University of Texas at Austin and Columbus State. An advanced placement scholar, Olivia has a 4.0 GPA. Elizabeth Rankin is varsity captain on the lacrosse team at St. Francis DeSales High School, where she is a 4-year varsity starter, second team All-Region and All-League, and 2019 state champion. A member of the National Honor Society, she serves as student council president, her school's blood drive coordinator, a peer tutor, a math club officer, and a member of the Autism Awareness Club. Her future plans include majoring in biochemistry at Colorado Mesa University, and she hopes to have a career in orthopedic sports medicine. Elizabeth has a 4.4 GPA. Congratulations to these outstanding Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes.
Congratulations once again to our Lifeline of Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week. Earlier today, I was able to talk to the band director at DeSales High School. It's all a part of the Music Go Round marching band sound. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to be joined by the director of bands at St. Francis DeSales, Bill Steller. Bill, you've been with the band for 33 years. You've seen it all. You've heard it all. What are some of the most rewarding things that you've had take place being as a part of the St. Francis DeSales band?
Well, I'd say probably seeing some of my musicians come back and play as professionals or teaching and doing various things like that. I love to see that and see them carry on playing music in various other places.
So tonight's halftime show, what are some of the things that we can expect tonight?
Well, we're going to be in full Halloween costumes out there on the field tonight, so that's always exciting. We're going to play a variety of music for them, from oldies from the 60s to new contemporary songs.
I know you guys have a few things coming up as far as band activities. What are those?
Well, we're working now kind of double duty, working on marching band and getting our Christmas concert ready for a couple weeks coming up. It seems like a couple weeks, but about a month. So it's preparations for Christmas and marching band.
What's the spirit been like with the band this week, knowing that they're going to be on Thursday Night Lights?
Oh, they're fired up, and they did a really good job on their costumes. And I'm like, you're going to be on TV. They better be good costumes tonight. So I think they're really, really excited to show their costumes and get out there and play.
Oh, Bill Steller, we can't wait to see them and hear them as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Bill Steller, band director at DeSales High School. That is your Music Go Round marching band sound. Take a look, take a listen to the DeSales marching band in their Halloween costumes. Coming up, more of the halftime show. You're watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the Stadium Network and the CW Columbus. Hartley leads DeSales by a score of 9-7 at halftime, and you are watching the halftime show on Honda's Thursday Night Lights on the Stadium Network and the CW Columbus. Let's take a look at high school football action from across the country.
This Fjord kid is a special talent, too.
High kick, backs him up to the 15, runs up to catch it, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 to the 30, and Chuck, you called it across the 40, still on his feet. Fjord across midfield, he breaks free. Fjord to the house, touchdown, champion, Charger.
Whoever to throw has a lot of time.
Too much time.
Dumps it off. Rodriguez down the sideline, into the end zone, touchdown.
Get up and over, up and over. I see you, 2-1.
Or through.
Ah, yeah.
Should return against Thomas Worthington.
Blitz coming.
Bergen rolling, looking for a gap. There's a seam. Can he get to it? 15, 10. Spin move at the 5. And does he break the play? Oh, what a run!
Mr. Price, no penalty. It doesn't get called back. So the Gaines stands now coming the other way. And this is Quanteris Gaines who, oh, wow, what an effort. They had him in the backfield. They're not going to get it. That's going to be a touchdown.
We have a big 24 minutes left in this game.
Shane Felt with the kick. Fielded, fumbled at the 15. Better pick it up, and he does. Got some room up the middle. Oh, no way. Look at this. Tyrese Petty in midfield. 40, 30, 25, 20. Oh, 10, 5. Touchdown. No way. Oh, my. And that's a young security touchdown.
All right, those are the highlights from across the country. Let's throw things up to Randy Reinhardt in the broadcast booth with a special guest. Randy?
Well, thank you very much. I'm standing by here with a very, very special guest. It is Bishop Robert J. Brennan, the 12th Bishop of Columbus. Diocese of Columbus is the official title. Bishop, thank you for joining us here tonight. It's an honor to have you.
Glad to be here. Glad to be with you.
You've been around now for 7 months, right?
7 months this week.
Your impressions of Central Ohio?
It's great. I couldn't ask for more. People are great. The variety of life. I mean, the city life, the suburbs, the rural. It's just great, every bit of it. And people are so good.
Talk about your impressions of this high school football game tonight. A little blustery out there, is it not?
You can drop the little. I mean, it's just plain blustery. It's cold out there and windy. But I'll tell you, everybody's into it, both sides. The fans are really watching.
Let's talk about the term student athlete. I know that means a lot to the folks in the Catholic schools. Explain to us the definition student athlete and what that means to you.
Well, what it means to me is it fits in with everything that we're about in our Catholic schools. It's finding your best self, putting your all into what you're doing, recognizing your God-given talents and putting them out there for others. It's a matter of playing hard, but realizing that there are things that are more important than winning and losing. It's a sense of teamwork. It's not about stars. It's about people pitching in and pulling together, and we see that really on display in these games here.
And you're playing for a much higher purpose in the Catholic schools than you are perhaps in some other schools as well, too. Now, I want to guess right now that with that accent, you're not from Obetz. Maybe a little further to the east, perhaps?
A little further to the east. I'm from New York,
okay.
On the south shore of Long Island in New York.
And I've got to ask you, let's see, early 60s, so are you a Mets fan?
I am a Mets fan. I was born the same year as the Mets, 1962.
Swoboda, Kranepool, names
You
like
got
that.
it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It was great. I was a 7-year-old kid when they won their first World Series.
Back in 1969,
That's it.
So you're a baseball fan. How do you feel about high school football?
Well, I'll tell you something. That's one of the changes here in Central Ohio. It is a culture here, and it's great. It's great. It's great to see so many people out for the games and the generations of people and the alumni. There's a real loyal following. And I see that in our schools, too, just in every element of it. People are really tied to the schools they went to.
God bless you for the great work you do every day. Any chance you're giving inspirational speeches to either team tonight?
I would just tell them both. It's still a long game. I think it could go either way. We have two really good teams on the field here
and
tonight.
Stay warm as well, too, right?
Stay warm, exactly.
Bishop, thank you so much for your time.
Good.
Thank you for
Thanks.
the great
Good
work
being
that
with
you do.
you.
What a night for high school football with royalty in the house as well, too. 9-7 the tally here at the break. Hartley on top of DeSales. More of our halftime show just around the corner. This is Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Jack Ryan Field, where right now Hartley leads DeSales 9-7 at halftime. Randy Reinhardt, Jeff Logan. Some would contend right now that you could look at the scoreboard, Jeff, and say that Hartley leads, but others would say that right now Mother Nature is leading at halftime.
Yeah, this has really been a challenge. We talked at the onset about the conditions here, the cold, the wind blowing sideways, and, very difficult. When we look at stats a little bit later, you'll see what we mean exactly. But, I credit both of these teams. We've really only had one turnover, I think, in the football game, a couple of bobbles in between. But, Randy, this is back and forth, exactly what we would see in a championship ball game.
Great adjustments by these two CCL powers in this contest. We'll take a look at some of the highlights now from the first half of action. We start with a miscue, a snap that floats back because of the breeze over the head and kicked out of the end zone for a safety for the Hawks. They go up early 2-0.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the game, and that kind of set the stage. You had to be careful with everything you do in the kicking game. And then here is the touchdown run by January, and I want you to see the number of white shirts that have opportunities. You can't arm tackle this young man. He's too strong.
Takes it in 30 yards for the score, and that adds two more to the tally. That makes it 9-0 with the extra point. Then Quintel Quinn's going to take it around the left-hand side and set up a score by himself, if you will. So he'll take it in on the next play, some 4 yards for the touchdown. Randy Tuia adds the extra point. 9-7 the tally in the first half. A lot of excitement, and because of maybe Mother Nature too, not that many points scored, and passing yards, a whopping 4 yards in the first half, Jeff.
Yeah, and DeSales nothing, in terms of being able to throw the football. Hartley not able to throw the football at all. 0 yards there. And you can see just 11 first downs here. We've seen a lot of offense, but we've also seen fourth down frustration by both teams. And I would say it would be, I think the coaches from a fourth down situation have got to understand punting is not a bad decision, and going ahead and kicking the football and flipping the field, especially when we've got difficult field conditions down there with the wind. Kick the ball, please.
Jeff, welcome to the CCL. We'll take a break. The CCL Championship on the line. 9-7 the tally here at halftime. We'll take a break. Second half just around the corner right here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium at the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Bishop Hartley High School as we get ready for the start of the second half. Let's head down to the sidelines. Mike Todd standing by with the head coach of the Stallions.
Well, Coach, a disciplined first half there, a very tight contest so far. What did you say to your team in the locker room?
Well, I think we're playing really hard. I think that we left a few opportunities out there. We had the ball in the red zone a few times and weren't able to get points out of it. But, and we don't want to have any turnovers. But our guys are playing really hard. We need to tighten up on a few things and not so much adjust, just execute a little bit better. Hartley's a good football team, really good football team. And when you make mistakes, they're going to be magnified. So we got to clean it up a little bit.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck second half. Guys, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. It's time now for the Dr. Pepper kickoff. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Spotlight, Jeff, really falls on the two running backs in this contest that we touched on. The open Quinn, this contest, 15 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown for Quintel. And then for Jalen January, 18 carries, 141 yards, and one score. And really, the difference in this game is the safety to start this contest.
Yeah, you look at those kind of running totals for those two running backs, you would expect to see maybe more scores on the board, but there's been so much back and forth in terms of fourth downs not converted. And Randy, we talked about it in the first half. There were 6 fourth down situations where they went for it and did not punt, and the teams were 1 and 5. Hartley 1 for 3 on fourth down attempts. DeSales 0 for 2.
Isaiah Thomas is going to have to hold the ball for the Stallions before it's kicked by Randy Tawia, simply because that breeze still kicking up. So DeSales, who just joining us in the white jerseys trimmed in purple, will kick off, and Bishop Hartley in the brand new gray jerseys going from right to left, and the return's going to start from the 17 for Richard Kenny up across the 20, 25. Nice little cut move there. And spins around at the 35-yard line is where he's brought down, and that's where the Hawks will have it to start on offense 7 seconds into the second half. Outside of Jalen January, anything else that caught your eye about the Hawks on offense?
Well, I thought that they did a really good job from an offensive line standpoint, Randy, and trap blocking and pulling on the sweep plays. You know, they've got that very tight set that you've called kind of a phone booth. Everybody just gets really tight in the middle there, and that creates opportunities where if you can seal the corner, you can create runs around the outside.
1st and 10 from the 35. That's Kenny in motion, bottom to top. And the handoff going right up the middle to Jalen January. Will push the pile, push the pile, push the pile. Did I mention push the pile? And it's still going up to around the 41-yard line. That's one thing in high school football I'd love to see kind of eliminated, is once forward progress is stopped. I'm just afraid somewhere down the road here, Jeff, we're going to have too many injuries that happen in that rugby scrum.
Yeah, and I guess the key to that is when does that forward progress stop? In the view of the officials, if they're allowed to aid and abet, which is now allowed to be able to push that pile, you can't blow the whistle until that forward progress is stopped.
One thing you know about Jalen January, the legs will keep churning until he is stopped. Picks up 6. 2nd down and 4 now, 47 seconds into the second half. Miles Fleming, the signal caller, who's committed to Minnesota. And the handoff off the right side, and that'll push the pile across the 45 up to the 47-yard line, and enough for a first down is Mason Sawyer that time on the carry. You look at January, 5'10", 190. Then you got Sawyer, 6'1" and 210. That's quite a 1-2 punch they have in the backfield.
Again, good job by the offensive line. Pulling on the play, the guard Kenyon Davis. Good, strong football player, being able to make that play. 6 foot, 230-pound senior.
Hats off to Skelly, Divner, DeFore, Davis, and Drake in the interior 5. And you can add in Daniel Toussaint and Alex Michael, who alternate and sometimes play at the same time at tight end. 1st and 10 now for the Hawks from the 47. Sawyer to exit the backfield. Student body left this time for Jalen January. He's got good yardage on that first down play all the way down to the 47, maybe the 46-yard line before he's hit on the play by Johnson and Quinn.
We get a look at this. You're going to watch the split end. Angelo Evans, 44, right here on your screen. He's able to get the seal block. That is not one of those crackback blocks, blindside blocks. That was absolutely okay, and that's what created the opportunity. When I talk about sealing the corner, that's exactly what I mean there. And that time using the split end, Angelo Evans, to be able to make the play.
Mr. January is trying to have a 200-yard night, it looks like. Gain of 6 on first down. They need 4 more with the backs from an eye. It's January again. Going to bounce it outside, have the first down inside the 40 down to around the 39 before Faulkner wraps him up around the ankles, but the Hawks methodically moving the ball to start the second half.
A good example of getting your pads down low and leading forward. You don't give him much body to be able to attack right here. You can see he drops his head, gets the pads low, and it creates 3 or 4 more yards. If you run tall through there, Randy, you're giving all that exposure to the entire body to be able to tackle you. You get your pads low a little bit, and all of a sudden you have a chance of being able to blow through that defender for an extra 2 or 3 yards.
1st and 10 now for the Hawks from the Stallions' 38-yard line as we played just about 3 minutes of the second half. Mason Sawyer, when he gets down, Jeff, in that 3-point stance, it looks like it's easier for him to get on his knees than to stand back up again, yet he's got such a rapid acceleration to get up and burst with the lead block as he does in that play. And January will take that seam and take it all the way in to the 29-yard line, picking up about 9 on the play.
Well, again, the offensive line executing well. You can see blocks right there, creating opportunities, but good hard running by Jalen January.
There you saw the example of a great lead block by Mason Sawyer again. But I just can't get over the fact that, with that forward lean, he can still make effective blocks and even run the ball. In fact, he's the lone back right now. Evans is in motion. And Sawyer's got the handoff as January was lined up as a wideout. They needed a yard on the play, and looks like Mason Sawyer got that yard and got a first down for the Hawks. 8:26 left to go. Sawyer, a guy that likes doing community service. He's part of the Book and Chess Clubs, a school captain, part of the sound team, likes video production, and he likes fishing.
And we'll give you some idea of the impact of the wind on the field. And Coach Birchfield was talking about it, that it's coming from the right side of your screen to the left. the entire football game has literally been played at this 30-yard line for the entire game. It's like they can't go the other way into that wind.
Which is convenient for us. That's pretty much where we're sitting in the press box, too.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, guys. First down and 10 on the counter play off the left side. Little gap this time inside the 20. All the way down to the 15-yard line. On the carry that time for the Hawks. Big number 30, Marcellus Parker. Spends a lot of time on that wing, and he's got a lot of power. We talked about the frame at 6 feet, 210 pounds, but he's got a burst as well, too. And he's now over 200, make that over 350 yards rushing on the season.
A healthy dose of running the other backs, Jalen January, and you give a handoff to Marcellus Parker coming on that inside trap from the wingback position. Creates a good opportunity there. Good change of pace there. Selection by the Hartley Hawks.
Picks up a dozen on the play. 1st and 10 Hawks now from the 15 of the Stallions. That's Evans in motion. That's January again. Stutter step. And that allows him to find that gap inside the 10 and push the pile again. And here we go. Scrum central towards the goal line. And I think a whistle that time did blow. They stopped the forward progress before he took everybody into the parking lot.
And you could see the argument by Jalen January. Let's see if his forward progress did get stopped. Right here we see the push, 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 keep going. And that's where the whistle blew there. And I think a good decision by the official at that stage to go ahead and blow that play dead.
2nd down and 3 now from inside the 9-yard line for the Hawks. Looking to milk half, at least the 3rd quarter on this first drive of the 2nd half. They'll keep it on the ground again. And January will pick it up inside the 7 to maybe the 6-yard line. Good penetration by the Stallions, staying at home that time. Billy Kane the 4th helping to make the hit, 6'2 and 250, and Bud a junior up front defensively for the Stallions. But if you're DeSales right now, you got to be a little concerned because this is one of those drives that Hartley is known to take the ball and just cram it down your throat, and that's what they're doing here to start the 2nd half.
Good, solid, long drive here, and Randy, they have a desire a lot of times to be able to run the ball to the left here into the perimeter, short side of the field. So let's see if we get a handoff coming to Jalen January, coming around to the left side.
3rd and a couple from the 7. They need to get to the 5 for 1st down. And penetration that time by the Stallions to knock it down. It's big number 62, and that is Cole Potts, who came through and just played wrestling again and took him down back near the 10-yard line.
Great job by Cole Potts again. Great hand movement here. He's able to break through. They tried to do a reach block on him. He's too quick, and he's in there to be able to make the play. And now you've got a 4th and long situation. Looks like we're going to get a field goal attempt.
Ryan Hawk on the field. I believe he's 1 of 1 on the season. He was a soccer kid in the past. He's 25 of 28 on extra points. This to make it a 5-point cushion. With the breeze, you never know.
You begin to wonder a little bit about how warm he's been on the sidelines to be able to come in here and be able to kick.
There's the snap. There's the kick. Plenty of leg. It is up. And add 3 to the board for the Hawks. It is now 12-7 with 4:52 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break. DeSales now with a chance to answer in the CCL Championship game. And you're seeing it right here on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus. So the Hawks have widened the cushion. Let's see, Jeff, now they've had an extra point, a field goal, a safety, and a touchdown. Pretty much covers it, doesn't it?
It does it, yeah.
12-7 the tally.
Pretty impressive.
And there is the time-consuming, methodical drive that usurped 7 minutes off the clock to start the 2nd half. 12 plays, some 56 yards. And now DeSales will touch the ball for the first time with under 4 minutes, or actually under 5 minutes left to go in the 2nd half.
It's interesting because we saw a bunch of 8, 10, 12 play drives in the first half, but neither team able to really cash in when they had the ball in the red zone.
And it's pooched along the ground and trickling bounce. Does it head out of bounds? It does indeed. Got by Fuller at around the 35-yard line, and so it'll stay along the sidelines here.
Ball
They're going to say it was touched, too.
It was touched. Yep.
So there you go. So DeSales will get the ball at around the 31-yard line. Time now again for the Aspen Dental Smile Cam. Aspen Dental has offices in Hilliard, Delaware, and several other Central Ohio locations. Schedule a new patient appointment at aspendental.com. Aspen Dental, simply easier. Ladies, thank you for braving the cold tonight to cheer on your Hartley Hawks. And now the Stallions would like to give their fans something to cheer about on this frosty night here in Central Ohio, where Playing on Thursday night has been advantageous 9 weeks. We had no weather problems. And tonight, believe it or not, it could be better than the weather they have in Central Ohio tomorrow night, where they're calling for 30 degrees and snow. Quintel Quinn on the first down play around the left side. Has room across the 35 out to the 37-yard line. The Dance will pick up about 6 on the play. It'll be second down from there.
First opportunity for DeSales to touch the football here in the second half of play. Great opening drive by Hartley. They were able to get 3 points on the board with the field goal. They were looking for touchdowns, though, Randy. You got to be able to cash those in. DeSales probably feels like they got a pretty good stop right there.
To understand what DeSales is missing tonight by not being able to throw the ball, they average 191 yards on the ground, but 131.7 passing per game. So that's 322 yards total offense. So that's effectively, about 40% of your offense. They haven't been able to add to the total tonight because of the lack of a passing game, because of the conditions. And Quinn finds absolutely nothing, though, on the ground, right at the 36-yard line. Great job by that defense of the Hawks in the middle to stop it right there at the 36.
Boy, just a lot of bodies in here, and you can see there's just not much of an opportunity.
Did you see sliding across Daniel Tucson, who made a huge play coming from the outside position on the defensive line, just slid over there, big number 86. His dad, a longtime coach at Northland High School in the past, too, so he's got football in his genes. And you look at his effective play and you go, he's only a sophomore?
Yeah, 86. Good-looking football player out there.
Played last year as a freshman. Third down, halfway home. They need about 5 more for the first down. Godfrey wants to throw. Reno with some pressure on, looks, dumps across the middle, has his man, that's Fuller, at midfield to the 45, down inside the 40, and Dante all the way down inside the 36-yard line, as Fuller has enough for a first down and then some, with 3:20 left to go here in quarter number 3.
A broken play, and Reno Godfrey had to improvise here. You could see the pressure coming from Tucson, and he was able to find that receiver, Dante Fuller, his slash tight end H-back, over the middle, and that's a great job of the receiver getting in a position where you can help your quarterback, run back to him, make yourself available.
Gain of 27 on the play. Brad Birchfield looking for his defense to bend but not break. Ryan Wiggins and the crew on the far side looking for a touchdown here to take the lead. The wind playing tricks with the cameras and everything tonight, including the flags. And coming back the other way as Faulkner will get it. As Godfrey went to the right and Faulkner came back to the left. And Owen, who had a big catch last week against Steubenville on a 4th down play, 4th and short, it was all of the Green Bay Packers. Instead of running it, they found Faulkner on the fade pattern in the end zone. And this guy, their most effective receiver, and also pretty good on the jet sweep, too.
Yeah, this is a shovel pass. That'll count as a passing down as he shoveled the pass forward. Owen Faulkner. 34 catches coming into tonight's football game.
Great game against Steubenville. We mentioned that 21-yard touchdown catch on 4th down. First team all-district, by the way, in baseball, so a multi-sport athlete. 2nd down and 9. They'll pick up only 1 on the play, despite all the running on the play by Faulkner. And this time it's Quinn to the short side of the field. Quintel tight ropes and sidelines. And how far did he go before he went out of bounds? He thinks he's got the first down, and the officials agree. Now, what a story when you look at Quintel Quinn. What an emotional year this has been as he runs the ball, running probably in part for his younger brother Xavier, who is the victim of an accidental shooting, and just a guy that would have meant so much to the DeSales community, not just as an athlete, but as a student too. Just a fine young man. And Quintel Quinn, I'm sure, dedicating a lot of his effort to his late brother here, and you can see that he's crossed the century mark with his rushing so far in this contest tonight.
Boy, both of the running backs that we highlighted at the beginning of the game, including Q squared, Quintel Quinn, have had good games tonight.
1st and 10, Stallions from the 25-yard line for Godfrey and company. And Quinn's got it, tries to glide inside, picks up a couple on the play. Almost looked to me like he left early as he cheated forward just a second there, but no flag on the play. And a short gain. A reminder, at the start of the 4th quarter, we'll go back down to the sidelines where our Mike Todd will interview the principal of Bishop Hartley High School, Michael Winters. Frosty, you ready for that? I hope you are, to start the 4th quarter. He is ready to go. He just waved to me with 3 pairs of gloves on and mucklucks and everything else. We appreciate what Mike Todd has done throughout the years, too. We go back some 27 years. What a stellar guy he is. He also works on the Columbus Blue Jackets broadcast as well, too, in-house, and just a man with so many talents. When I grow up, I want to be like him. 2nd down and 9 from the 24 with 1:11 left to go in a rapidly played 3rd quarter. Faulkner readjusts now. We've got whistles on the play, and DeSales is going to burn a timeout. 1:08 left to go. We'll step aside as well, too. DeSales driving, but they're down by 5 here on Stadium and the CW Columbus. Attention high school administrators, football coaches, and team boosters in Central Ohio. If you would like to see your high school on Honda's Thursday Night Lights next season, let us know. Message us on Twitter or Facebook. We'd be happy to find room for you on the 2020 schedule. Again, find us on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll talk. 2nd down and 9 now with just over a minute left to go. Ball's free. And who's got it? Inside the 27-yard line. And Hartley says they have the football. We'll find out. Waiting, still on sorting.
Oh, now a flag
has been tossed. And the Hawks say they have it. Mason Sawyer's cheering that their team has it. We'll wait and see. Godfrey had some trouble in the backfield there and was still sorting out this situation.
Looks to me like the officials are saying the ball was down, and there is a white jersey coming up with the ball. Quintel Quinn.
Quinn is there, yeah, with the football. And we'll see what the penalty is Greg Gompf and company will sort through this with 1 minute exactly left to go in the third quarter. This is huge right now because DeSales obviously loses a play, but they want to keep that football because you know they're in 4-down territory, as you've learned about the CCL here.
Yeah, very surprising that you'd have a timeout, really be able to think about the play you want to go out there and execute, and then have the play really fail, and you can see the officials having the conversation here.
Well, look at the breeze, too, with their pant legs, too. Get an idea that it's not a breeze. That's almost like a hurricane force wind, it seems like. Here's the call.
The ball was fumbled and recovered by Hartley. After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 30. That penalty assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
They are giving the ball to Hartley.
So Hartley gets the ball, but they also get a penalty half the distance. Take a look one more time. Again, Godfrey with the bobble, lost the handle. Quinn tries to cover it up, and I thought he had the safest route to the football, but apparently he didn't.
Well, it sure looked at it. There's just people piled in there trying to make something happen. Again, he never had control of the football. Took his eyes off of it as the snap came back, and now the ball is loose like a goose down there, and there is a fight for the football.
Now, see, Quinn, I think, had the ball at first, but he lost the battle. The one thing you have to do with the football, Jeff, is you have to hatch it. You have to create it like an egg and put it under your body so nobody can get to it unless they go underneath you. So the Hawks will have it first down. On the counter play, they'll hand it off and maybe get it up to about the 13-yard line. That's about it on the play.
Second turnover in this football game, Randy.
Quinn makes the hit on the play, but that is a huge, huge play to give Hartley the ball back late in the third quarter.
You know, one of the things Hartley has got to take advantage of right now is the wind at their back. And, you know, they're going to have to play the fourth quarter dead into that wind. But, you know, clock running down to only 30 seconds left, and they don't seem to be in any big hurry.
They'll check the wristband to get the play. Miles Fleming came north of the field here and came down to the sidelines to get the information. And Fleming going to hand it off, and as they try to sweep the corner, nothing there that time. Great pursuit by that defense. Quinn comes through to hit Richard Kenny, and that will be the last play of the third quarter, a rapidly played third quarter. Hartley drove over 7 minutes to get a field goal in this contest, and after 3, it's 12-7. The Hawks on top of the Stallions. Week number 10, our final quarter coming up on Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium and the CW Columbus.
Welcome back to Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College on the Stadium Network and the CW Columbus. Bishop Hartley in command of a score of 12-7 over DeSales, and I am happy to be joined by the principal here at Bishop Hartley High School, Michael Winters. Before we start the interview, Michael, who's this handsome lad standing next to you?
This is Mike Ray, our athletic director, and he wanted to give these shirts. We come bearing gifts.
Thank you.
And so this is for you and Reinhardt upstairs. And there's a funny story behind this. These are the whiteout T-shirts that we got. It says, Go Hartley, beat DeSales. Listen, in this Arctic cold, he ordered 250 T-shirts. This isn't T-shirt weather. But that's not the thing that I'm most upset about. I'm upset because the guy's doing the dab. So I told him, listen, I don't think the dab's necessarily really in. And he said, look at it's a skeleton's doing the dab. Skeleton probably died 5 years ago when the dab was still in. So anyway, that's for you and Reinhardt. What's going on?
Well, you tell me. What are you excited about? You know, I talked to you before this interview. You said, let's have a little bit of fun. What are some of the fun things happening in Hartley this year?
Well, first of all, we appreciate CW coming out. I wish there was a little bit. We'll take that idea that you said we were in command, because I don't know if we're in command or not. But we've got a couple things going on. Tomorrow we have a day of prayer and service where we will come because it's All Saints Day and we have a holy day of obligation. So we will celebrate the Eucharist tomorrow. That's the prayer part. And then the service part will be that all the kids will go out and do some service in the community. The seniors leave school and go out and help their parishes, and then young kids do a lot of stuff in school for Ronald McDonald House, for UD, University of Dayton's Christmas off campus, and a lot of other things. And then we're really excited about a week from today, there's open house where families come in to see if this is the fit that they want to have. So we're excited.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for having us here. Thanks for being such an amazing host. Normally, when someone gives us a T-shirt, I don't want to compromise my journalistic integrity, but given the way the weather is, I'll take an extra layer.
Put it over the top there. Nice of him to throw Mike Ray under the bus there, too, as well. Holy cow. Mike Winter's also a guy that, if you notice, has a great personality and also was a legendary basketball coach in his day as well, too. Fourth down situation, and there's the boot by Kearney. A little better. Owen Faulkner's going to get out of the way and take a Hartley bounce across midfield and trickle down inside the 42 and be down to the 41. All right, Stallions have it right in front of them, Jeff. 10:56 left to go, down by 5 in this contest. So we'll see what they can do as they need to get the ball back and get some more points on the board. Here, by the way, fans, is the Papa John's fan photo of the week uploaded by Bethany Waite. It was taken at our TNL game last week at Hilliard-Bradley. Our thanks to Bethany and everyone who submitted high school football game photos to the Papa John's fan channel this season. And hopefully it's back next year. And thank you, too. I love their pizzas, too. They're second to none.
Well, Randy, we talked about the failure of both teams in the first half. 1 of 5 on fourth down conversions. Both teams being very stubborn in terms of not being willing to kick the football. This time, Hartley making the right decision, flipping the field. Now, to make it effective, your defense needs to make a 3 and out.
Johnson and Faulkner, the wideouts. Faulkner in motion. Handoff goes to Quintel Quinn. Dances inside, then outside again, and across midfield. 45. Quintel Quinn nearly broke it inside the 45, all the way down to the 43-yard line, and one man away from breaking it. What a move and what a burst by Quintel Quinn.
Well, you just got the feeling that he was just kind of tiptoeing his way through here, creates a little depth there, then puts that foot in the ground and accelerates through the contact. And Randy, this is really good running, protecting the football, and able to get the big first down.
Gain of 16, and Sumo Kesley saved the touchdown on that play. 1st and 10 now, Stallions from the 43 of the Hawks, and then there was 10:25 left to go in regulation. Faulkner in motion again. That's Quinn to the left side. He's got room again. 40. Quintel 35 to the outside. And Quintel Quinn inside the 30-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds by number 24, George Dunor, coming up from the secondary, but another big gainer for Q squared.
Again, they're having success here. You can see the defensive end steps inside. The outside linebacker not there to be able to create the recovery that they need to turn that ball back inside. And the DeSales Stallions are on the loose.
Another 16 yards for Quinn. 1st and 10 from the 27 of the Hawks. Under 10 left to go for Godfrey and company. Reno. Quinn right side. He goes right, left, and right again, and backs his way to the 20-yard line. Nice gain on first down. What are the Stallions doing differently on this drive?
Well, Randy, it looks like they're going with a little bit quicker tempo. You know, there's no question about what they want to be able to do in terms of running the football, but they seem to be picking up the pace a little bit. I think they feel that they've got a great opportunity with the wind at their back. Even though they're not going to throw this football, it does help with the wind at your back being able to move that offense.
I look at the goalpost just quivering right now in this breeze, giving up to Mother Nature's. The wind just majestically pushes them. They sway back and forth. 2nd down after that gain of 7 on first down. They need 3 more with Faulkner doing the dance to the top of the formation. He left early. Quick pop, and the pass is deflected and picked off on the play. Intercepted, coming back the other way for the Hawks. It's Mason Sawyer with the football. Sawyer's got the football. He's got the pick. And it's back to the Hawks now with 9:02 left to go. We have danced between the 20s. And the Hawks come up with a big play again, and they get it back now with a chance to drain more of that clock.
Again, trying to take advantage of the wind here. Play action, trying to throw the football. They've had great success running the ball. And how about the hands of Mason Sawyer just reaching up there as if the pass was intended for him. Watch here. Stop right there. Boom. He's got it. now take it to the house. That's what he's thinking right now. Tip ball, being able to recover. Mason Sawyer with a big play. Stop that drive.
Hawks 1st and 10 now from the 28-yard line. Up by 5, looking for more. And Fleming lost the handle under center and corrals it back inside the 26.
The weather is beginning to take a toll. I mean, Randy, it is bone chilling down there with the wind chill. And these young men are doing the best job that they possibly can.
Gloves or not on a night like this, Jeff?
I say no gloves. You got to get down there. You got to keep those hands as warm as you possibly can. But no gloves is my theory.
See a lot of them with them. I do see a fair amount without them. 2 losses of 3 on the play. 2nd and 13, 8.5 left to go in regulation. And again a problem. And DeSales says they have it this time. And coming up from the bottom of the pile, the Stallions, do they have the football? Yes, Quinn and company, I think, have the football back on the turnover.
Frank Sharoni down there at the defensive end position was right there in the middle of things. And again, you can see quarterback Miles Fleming. Boy, just
and it's Quinn on the recovery.
A mess, Randy, just trying to be able to get the snap up under center.
Wow.
And that ball came loose. And again, this comes down to conditions out there beginning to take its toll.
The clock is still running. So we're going to have to reset the clock. The clock was still running. In fact, it is still running now.
So they might be having a little bit of difficulty with the equipment up here.
I'm not even sure if they try to unplug it too, but it's still running. So the clock is running down. We're not, though. We still have plenty of action left to go. Somewhere around under 8 minutes, I would guess, left to go. And they finally were able to stop the clock with 7:24 left to go, and now they'll have to reset it. Well, we talked about the mistakes, Mother Nature causing some of them, but here's a little reel of some of the mistakes in this contest. There's the high snap early in this game that led to a Hartley 2-pointer.
That ball rode the wind, and here you can see the exchange problem for DeSales. And here's the pick. We just saw it, tip ball. And what do? You return the favor. 2 plays in a row where they had trouble with the quarterback snap, and DeSales gets the ball back inside the 25-yard line.
That's where they have it on a 1st down and 10 with 8:08 left to go as they reset the clock. Quinn to the right side, trying to turn the corner, and he cannot do it. Great penetration as they'll get it inside the 25 near the 24. One of the guys I saw shooting through there early was Kenyon Davis to help strengthen that play out a little bit more, and he got some help from his Hawk friends too. Big number 58 on your screen. Watch the penetration now as he slides down the line, gets by the blocker, and look at that, Jeff. He's already got a chance for the ankle there.
Yeah, trying to get back up inside of the block of Cole Potts there. And boy, Cole Potts a big kid. That is terrific. Randy, you mentioned he's number 4 in the state of Ohio a year ago in wrestling. And I'm going to be Captain Obvious here. I'm guessing it was in the heavyweight division.
Oh, you got it, buddy. He ran 20 to pick up 1. 2nd down and 9, 7:21 left to go in ticking. And this is Faulkner. Faulkner's got a block outside. Owen Faulkner, and then undercut as he tried to turn the corner. Good job coming up from the secondary. I think that was George Dunor who helped make the hit on the play.
Little change of pace. This isn't what they're normally used to running. Little misdirection, jet sweep coming back the other way. Watch this. It looked like I thought there was maybe a block in the back, but a good decision by Jordan Johnson not to make contact right there, or he would have had a penalty.
Ball at the 19-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 from there. Under 7 left to go. Hartley's burned a timeout so far. Check that. DeSales has burned a timeout in the second half, not Hartley. Quinn cuts back. He's got a gap inside the 15. Jeff, he was 1 step away from breaking that one. He saw the opening at the 15-yard line, cut back rapidly, but about a half step too late.
Watch how quickly he notices the hole right here. Boom, he's going to start cutting it up inside, finds that opportunity, gets himself going north and south, or in this case, south to north, and he's able to get the 1st down.
So mark it 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line, approaching the halfway mark of the 4th quarter, week number 10 of high school football action. Big tip of the cap to the Image Video crew, Dean Marini and everybody. Thank you guys and ladies for the great job you've done every week for the last few years. You guys are second to none, and we are blessed to have you as partners. Quinn wants to find a gap, and Quintel maybe will pick up 2 on the play to about the 11-yard line. Whoa! Some contact along the far side. Did you see that, Jeff?
Yeah, I did, and it looked like it was involving the right guard, Cole Potts, who we were just talking about, and a defender.
I thought I saw a swing, too.
There was
from
some
one of the guys over there.
And, this is one of those that may go on both sides, because both guys were involved in the altercation. And I think that's a lot of time what the officials want to be able to do.
That's the last thing you want to see if you're either coach, though, is to have it come down to something like this with 5:51 left to go. As once again, Greg Gompf and company are trying to sort this out as they stand right around the 10-yard line on the far side of the field. Greg comes our way and says the following to us.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 7 of the defense. That penalty's half the distance to the goal, second down.
Wow. No call against the DeSales Stallions. Watch the top of your screen here. You can see 62. That's Potts, and you can see the going through. There's the swing right there. That's what caught him, was that swing. Randy, growing up as a young football player, I was always coached. They never see the first one. They always see the second one. And that's exactly what happened there.
So the ball is at the 5, just inside the 5. They still need a yard for the first down. So it'll be second down and a long one with 5:50 left to go in the fourth. Is it Quinn time? It is indeed. Quintel to turn the corner, looks for the corner and takes it in for the touchdown. DeSales takes the lead with 5:40 left to go, and then it was 13-12 in favor of the Stallions. Quintel Quinn now on the season with 16 rushing touchdowns. Do you go for one here or two? I think you go for two.
That's a good question. Play action, handoff right there, and you can see that his idea was to get to the corner as quickly as possible. Pretty clogged up inside, and that great speed puts Quintel Quinn into the end zone.
In fact, they are going to go for two to make it a 3-point cushion. If you have an option pass off of something like that, it'd be wide open in the end zone because everybody's going to sell out and try to go for Quinn. So from the 3, and the snap goes directly to Quinn and then back to Faulkner, who's looking to throw it and tosses it in the end zone, and the pass falls incomplete. A little bit of everything on that play. Is on coverage, one of the guys for the Hawks in the end zone. Alex Michael helps to make the play, but that time Quinn got the direct snap as Godfrey left the backfield. They came back around to Faulkner, and Faulkner looked at the last minute.
Watch the quarterback. He's just walking out there like we're not going to play. And he's sneaking out into there. They're going to try and throw it to the quarterback out of the backfield, Reno Godfrey. And there it's incomplete.
Alex Michael. Playing a little center field.
A little bit of trickery there. How about that?
Well, I did call an option pass, didn't I?
Good stuff.
13-12. Back with more here in the fourth quarter of Thursday Night Lights. So another Ramos Roofing touchdown for Quinn and company, and the Stallions climb to the slimmest of leads at 13-12. The try for two is no good, and that's where we stand with 5:40 left to go here in regulation this contest. And there's your scoring summary. On the turnover, Jeff, 5 plays, 25 yards, took about 2.5 minutes off the clock to take the lead for the first time in this contest. Randy Tuia with the little fake dance, and now they'll go back and try to boot this. All the points, Jeff, the win going from right to left, all the points have been scored at the left end zone, for good or bad, including the safety.
Not a surprise. And, the right, they could have played a soccer game down on the right side of the field, and it wouldn't have gotten in the way of the football game.
Or a fall
tonight.
festival is what I'm thinking of.
I'm serious. They could have been down there selling hot dogs.
Trick
and it
or
wouldn't
treat.
have mattered.
Giving away candy down there. And here's the boot by Tuia, again with the holder on the play. And nicely done. Corralled at the 29-yard line. And that's where the Hawks will take over on this possession. Friday night before the 11 o'clock news, join host Jay Richardson for AEP Ohio First Scores on Fox 28. Get the scores and highlights from the best high school football games in Central Ohio every Friday at 10:45 p.m. on Fox 28. What do you watch for now from the Hawks on offense?
Well, Randy, they've got to get some momentum going here and against this wind, but it really comes down to being able to get your running game to continue to go, and the guy that's got to be perfect here is Jalen January.
They've got the ball.
Another low
scooped
snap.
Up. Fleming's got it, and Miles will drag defenders, dragging Quinn all the way across the 35 to the 36. What a leader Miles Fleming is for the Hawks, and what is up for grabs? That is the orb. They're all majestically hoping to savor, to take with them, is Mike Todd cradles it for one last game. No, that's not Mike Todd. Who is that person that stole it? No, from Lifeline, Ohio, I think.
Yeah, there we go.
Corralling that football and
back under center.
The statue. Second down now. Fleming now. They need about 4. Toss near side. This is January. Jalen's got the first down. January midfield. Jalen 40. Down the sidelines. January 30. Did he step out of bounds? January must have stepped out of bounds back upfield with 4:57 left to go. And what a huge play for Jalen January and Bishop Hartley.
Boy, again, a little bit of an off balance here where they've got more blockers out there than defenders. And Jay Squared is going to take this one, and let's see where he steps out of bounds right there. Good call by the officials. And they are rolling in an area that has not yet had football played on it in about 3 hours.
49 yards on the gain. 1st and 10 for the Hawks from the 25. Under 5 left to go. January, no rest for the weary, and he gets undercut right at the 26-yard line. Penetration that time. Actually, the Hartley guy was there too, but underneath it all, making the hit was Billy Kane, big number 61.
A great deal of respect between these two programs. I think they all recognize how good they are. Char, look at Jalen's numbers tonight. 28 attempts. We knew they're going to run the ball, but 244 yards. Hard to believe they've only got 12 points on the scoreboard with 244 yards rushing out of Jalen January.
He's got over 1,300 yards rushing now in the season. 20 touchdowns on the ground as well, too. The gain on the play, negligible. We'll call it nothing. 2nd down and 10 from the 25. This time he's got the toss right up the middle, takes defenders, carries them all the way down to the 15. Nearly a gain of 10. We'll see where they mark it as the clock dwindles down to 4 minutes left to go.
Joshua Marin Hayden, number 72, defensive lineman. Look at how far down the field he is making the play.
Martin Hayden has had a career in this contest tonight, big number 72. They're going to call it 3rd down and 1. He gained 9 on the 2nd down play. Is it a keeper this time? They're going to push the ball and push the pile inside the 15, and January's got a nice gain on the play, and that'll be 1st down Hawks. 3:41 left to go. Now, you want to score, but you don't want to score too early, correct?
I don't think there is such a thing as scoring too early in conditions like this. You're going to take whatever you can, and let's see if the Hawks are going to try and go with a little bit of play action here. Maybe hand the ball to somebody else. We've seen them give the ball to Marcellus Parker on that little wingback reverse.
1st and 10 now from the 11-yard line. Again, the backs from an eye. That's January. Has a gap inside the 10. Pushes, gets inside the 7 near the 6-yard line before he's knocked down on the play.
Well, January's got to be just totally gassed. He's carried the ball on every play here on this drive. Offensive line, the guards are doing a terrific job. Tony Thivener and Kenyon Davis, those are the guys that are getting down there 58 and 53 and making those trap blocks and the lead blocks for the running back.
This is high school football, so you don't pull a Belichick here and let them score, I don't think. 2nd down and 5 from the 6. January again. Off the right side, Jalen January. Does he break the plane? Yes. Touchdown. 2:41 left to go, and the Hawks now lead 18-13.
They can see the excitement in the crowd here. They need something to jump around and warm themselves up. And first time we've seen this side of the field dented. And how about the night that Jalen January is having? Pads are low. Did he get it in? Probably on replay. In a college or professional game, that ball would be placed at the 1-yard line.
Now, I think you go for 2 here as well, too, if you're the Hawks, to make this a 7-point cushion. The 5-point lead is nice, but 7 would be sweet. So January back out there on the try for 2 from the 3-yard line.
Well, you got a hot hand. Give it to 12, right?
The chant of "Let's Go Hawks" here. Sawyer's the up man. Little boot this time by Fleming, trying to turn the corner. Miles Fleming will take it in for the 2-point try with 2:41 left to go, and then it was 20-13, the hard way, if you will. And the Hawks have the lead by 7, but DeSales will get the ball back.
Good faking in the backfield here. They froze the line, and that created the opportunity for quarterback Miles Fleming to take it into the end zone. Looks like his 9th rushing touchdown of the season.
We'll take a break. 2:41 left to go. The Stallions get it back. They're down by 7 as the Hawks are flying high here on Stadium and a CW Columbus. They're loving it. Their Hawks are up 20-13 after another Ramos Roofing touchdown by Jalen January from 6 yards out, and the try for 2 by Fleming to make the cushion back up to 7 yards. There's your summary, too. It took just about 3 minutes to go 70 yards in 7 plays. And now for DeSales, getting the ball back. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining. Hawks still have their full allotment of 3. Again, we're holding the ball on the kicks pretty much every time tonight because of that breeze.
Yep. Plenty of time in this game for DeSales, Randy, and you really want to try and kick this ball as deep as you can, but you're dead into the wind.
Keep it low, you got a better chance. And that's going to be great field position for DeSales, as do the Hawks have it. Big number 4 tried to roll over on it, Isaiah Thomas.
White ball.
All right, Stallions have it. At the bottom of the pile is Owen Faulkner. He comes up with the football. Just a reminder, folks, after tonight's game, keep it right here on the CW Columbus for Fox 28 News at 10. Get a first look at what to expect when you wake up in the morning, and First Warning weather expert Marshall McPeak will have your weekend forecast. Fox 28 News at 10. Know more and know it first. And I can tell you one thing I know right now. This is coming down to the wire, and this one is the Stallions have the ball 1st and 10 now from the 36-yard line. All right, Jeff, you're with the win right now. Are you looking to throw? Is it Quintel Quinn time? What are you trying to do right now if you're DeSales?
Well, throwing the football has not been their forte tonight. They had the interception, obviously. They've not had success throwing the ball. But I think Reno Godfrey has got to be given a free rein here to run his football team.
Quinn off the left side up to the 39-yard line before he's bear hugged on the play by Kieran Anderson. So a gain of a few, but the clock's dwindling down to under 2.5 left to go. Mark the ball up to the 39-yard line, 2nd down and 7 from there.
Classic tackle by Kieran Anderson, 34, the middle linebacker, doing a really good job of stopping Quintel Quinn before he gets moving.
They need 7. They actually need 61. Godfrey back to throw, dumps it off. Faulkner's got it, 40, spin move, 45, midfield, Owen Faulkner, 45, 40, all the way down to the 36-yard line before he's whipped down on the play. First down, Stallions, 2 minutes left to go.
Well, they tried that play earlier in the football game, Randy, on the first series on 3rd down and got nothing on it. This
but it's
time,
coming back, Jeff.
They got the blitz, and there was a flag on the play. And they're disappointedly walking all the way back.
It is a block in the back.
2nd down.
It's from the spot of the foul, so a block in the back on the Stallions negates that long run of 25 yards by Owen Faulkner after he made the catch on the pass. So now the Stallions will have the ball, but it's marched back inside the 35-yard line. We'll take a look at the block in the back one more time. There's Faulkner with the cut, the spin move, and there's the block on Fleming in the back. So now it's 2nd down from the 33-yard line, 2nd down and 13. And the clock starts again. They're still getting the signals along the far side of the field.
Quintel Quinn tonight, Randy, 27 carries for him, 159 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We nailed it in the open, didn't we?
These guys
2nd and 13.
And we knew because of the weather, they'd get a big
Godfrey.
opportunity. Incomplete there. And
on the
pressure.
slant pattern, looking for number 6, Cole Perrine, but you mentioned the pressure, too, and the pass thrown behind him. It stops the clock, though, with 1:34 left to go, and DeSales with 2 more opportunities to move the sticks.
Looked like some confusion in the backfield here, Randy. They're supposed to fake it to the right, and the running back went to the left. Didn't have the play action, and really the play did not have much momentum from the very beginning, trying to set up that quickie inside screen to Cole Perrine.
3rd down and 13. Chant of defense along the near side underneath us here at Jack Ryan Field on the campus of Bishop Hartley High School. Last week of the regular season for high school football in Ohio. Godfrey rolling right, looking, buying time, gunning downfield for Faulkner. Does he make the catch? He makes the catch, but it's going to be 4th down. Makes the catch at the 43-yard line with 1:28 left to go. So now they're going to need about 3 yards for a 1st down.
Well, this is what you want to talk about winning championships. You got to have big plays in big games at the big moments. They did catch it inbounds.
And then he went out of bounds.
Yep.
With 1:28 left to go. So here's the game right now for the Stallions. To keep the drive alive, they need 3 yards from their own 43-yard line. Johnson the widest to the bottom. Faulkner in the slot. Faulkner now in motion. Quinn's got it. Can he get to the 46? Trying to bounce it. He cannot. He's brought down at the 44-yard line. Mason, Sawyer, and friends make the hit. The Hawks will get it back, and there's a flag on the play. It's a dead ball penalty with 1:22 left to go.
Coaches are on the field. They're trying to get kids off the field. I'm amazed the coaches out there, Randy, all the way on the field. The officials are trying to get them back.
Well, it's Brad Birchfield I see on the field.
Yeah.
He's all the way out to the hash mark.
Got a lot of moment, or a lot of
emotion
in this game.
Yes.
You know, both sides are, involved, getting a little chippy here at the end. And
here's the call from Greg Gopf as he stands at the 47-yard line with 1:22 left to go. Hartley held, and here's the call. Sometime.
The rule on the field is the runners stop short of the line of the game. After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty, number 82 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed at the end of the run. First down, Hartley.
So Hartley will get the ball back on the other side of the 50-yard line with 1:22 left to go. And for the Stallions, they have 2 timeouts left. So you got to think they may wait until after first down and then take the timeouts on the second and third. And here's the play.
How about the extra effort by Quinn, though? And then look at the success of the football team being able to come up and make things happen. I don't know that we're going to be able to see what the issue was for the penalty.
No, we saw the flag, though, but Sawyer got there first. Little help from Dunor with 1:22 left to go. And timeout taken on the field with 1:22 left to go. And even though I tried to hope the game would go continuously to the very end, we have time, unfortunately, for Logan's Heroes one final time, the curtain call.
Enjoy that music behind this. And these are the teams that I have taken. These are all in different divisions going into the playoffs. And these are the ones that I am predicting in these divisions to go the deepest. I got Pickerington Central in Division 1. They're my bank. They're going to go as far as anybody in Division 1. I've got Hartley and DeSales going in that direction. Licking Valley and Harvest Prep.
All right, so Hartley in 3, DeSales in 2.
Yeah, I know that part.
Okay.
I understand. They're not in order of 2 and 3 and 4.
Well, they should be, doggone it.
Well, then you can go talk to the truck if you don't think it's perfect. Guys, I think you did it exactly right. I love the way it looks, and those are the teams that I think will go into the deepest into the playoff. Thank you, guys.
I disagree with you, but I have to. That's my role for the last 22 years. Handoff, and they take it off the right side up to around the 44, maybe the 45. Let's see if DeSales burns a timeout now with 1:18 left to go. Yep, they'll burn a timeout now. That is their second. So you're picking those 5 teams as your teams that can go the furthest, you feel, in the postseason party.
Yep, in their respective divisions, I think they've got the greatest opportunity to go as deep as anybody into the playoffs. Whether or not Central Ohio has got a state champion, I think if they do, it's right in front of us here, and I think it might be the Hartley Hawks.
So the timeout taken with 1:18 left to go. And with that being said, DeSales now looks at the clock, peers over, and finds out they have 1:18 left to go. They can stop it one more time. So, Jeff, do you stop it after second down if you hold, or do you stop it after third down if you hold?
I think they got to put the stop on the clock as quickly as they possibly can. Now, remember, Hartley has had trouble all night with exchange between center and quarterback because of the cold conditions out there. And that's one of the things that DeSales wants to be aware of and get across that line as quickly as possible. Center and quarterback have to be perfect here.
Here we go. Second down and 7 now. Handoff goes to January, and he's got the ball. If he gets a first down, this puppy is over.
Yep.
And Jalen January has it inside the 48 and near the 47. Mason Sawyer with fist pumped as the Hawks have a first down with 1:10 left to go.
Yeah, you can put the dog in the truck right now because this is a killer first down. Hartley Hawks deliver the blow, and the Hartley Hawks are going to be hosting next week in the playoffs right here at Hartley High School.
And DeSales will burn their third and final timeout. Where are my rankings of the top 5? Is this the time we do those now, too?
Yeah, that's why there is no Reinhardt's Heroes.
Wow. But I got a T-shirt out of this, and you didn't. Just remember that.
That's what I understand.
That's right.
I like that.
I can use the added warmth. Well, Jeff, I got to say this, too. It's been a pleasure. You and I go back some 2 decades, and we've had so much fun down through the years. When you look at it, it's hard to believe the opportunities we've had down through the years to cover these outstanding student athletes here in Central Ohio. For me, it's been 37 years of love to go ahead and broadcast these games, and so many people thought, well, this will last for a year or two, or it's just a passing fancy. But we've been blessed to have great crews and great people to work with. And this statistician right here that you barely see, Steve Massford, has been with me some 30 years. There's his hand. There's a body that goes with that, too. And this guy, we go back over 2 decades, and I got to tell you what, he is so much fun to work with and a wealth of football knowledge,
well,
too.
And I'll tell you, one of the things that people don't understand is how much work Randy Reinhardt puts into this thing. beginning with the end of this game, going into the next game. And Randy, we appreciate all the work that you do.
Doctor, thank you very much. And the Hawks take a knee now, and they can just milk this clock.
There's Mr. Bassford.
There's Steve.
Say hi. There you go.
There you go. All right, now go home. No, I'm just kidding. Steve Bassford is the best. What a great job he does. Mike Todd down along the sidelines. He and I go back some 27 years, too. Masterful job by him in less than elegant circumstances most of the time, too. And just a reminder, too, high school administrators, football coaches, and team boosters in Central Ohio, if you'd like to see your high school on Honda's Thursday Night Lights next season, let us know. Message us on Twitter or Facebook. We would be happy to find room for you on the 2020 schedule. The Hawks were happy. We found room for them here in 2019. They will get the victory, and they will be your Central Catholic League champions for 2019 as Bishop Hartley will get the victory, go to 9-1. DeSales, Jeff, I think at 8-2, still a good shot at making it into the playoffs, but as a road team, probably not as a home team.
Yeah, most likely the case, Randy, but I think DeSales has a lot to be proud about with their football team. Great rushing job tonight. And, Randy, this thing came down to the wire just the way we thought it would.
2013, the final. We'll take a break. On the other side, the presentation of the Champions Trophy forthcoming to the Hartley Hawks. They soar above the Stallions. 20-13 will wrap up our season when we come back to Honda's Thursday Night Lights presented by Columbus State Community College on Stadium at the CW Columbus. Welcome back to Jack Ryan Field. There's a mass of humanity down at the 20 to about the 25-yard line, and somewhere in that circle of love for the Bishop Hartley Hawks is one Mike Todd standing by with a very special presentation and a guest or two. Michael?
All right, thanks a lot, Randy. Coach, Central Catholic League champions, what do you want to say right now?
Really proud of the team. Battled. It was a tight game against a great opponent, and really proud to be Central Catholic League champions. And kids earned it, deserved it, and wow, what a feeling.
Surrounded by these players, surrounded by these fans and students, what does it mean to be a Hartley Hawk?
It means Central Catholic League champion. That's what it means. So.
All right. Well, it is my pleasure to have Ellen from Lifeline of Ohio make a presentation.
On behalf of Lifeline of Ohio and Thursday Night Lights, I am so proud to present you with this champion trophy.
Thank you very much for what you do. Thank you very much. CCL! 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 CCL!
No, they don't need to buy a vowel. They're happy with CCL. They are the Central Catholic League champions. Welcome back inside the press box here at Bishop Hartley as the Hawks get the victory 20-13. So many changes and twists and turns in this contest. As you look at the final numbers, total offense in this contest, 291 for Bishop Hartley, all on the ground. And DeSales got a little passing game going there some in the second half. But, Jeff, again, Mother Nature was very difficult to deal with. And we did have 3 miscues in this contest, plus the snap over the head, too.
Yeah, it really was crazy, Randy. A lot of strategy in this football game. Not all of what I agreed with, but it was a lot of strategy. And how do you
go for it on fourth down?
Do you think Hartley has ever won a football game and never thrown for a yard? I mean, that's something that's pretty remarkable. How about the running job, though? Q squared, we talked about him, who plays for DeSales, 160 yards rushing. J squared on the other team, January, rushes for over 270 yards tonight. What a great way to head into the playoffs.
And if the weather is decent, I can tell you, too, that Miles Fleming and company can throw the ball to Angela Evans and Richard Kenny and more. And the same thing for DeSales, too. If Mother Nature allows, Reno Godfrey's got a great receiver, Owen Faulkner, too. And both of these teams, I think, have a path to the playoffs that, for Division II, Region 8 for DeSales, it's going to be tough with some of those Cincinnati teams, and they'll have to play on the road. But this is a team that's used to traveling, too. And for the Hawks, you mentioned the fact they've been to the Promised Land a couple times in 15 and 16 in recent years. So things look very good for these two teams from the CCL.
Well, that's why I picked them in my heroes. I think they've got a great chance to go deep into the playoffs. Very proud of the way that they both played this football game tonight.
Sir, it has been an honor working
with
you
my
again.
Friend. Thank you, sir.
Maybe we'll be back in 2020, okay, if Jeff allows us, all right? We'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you for joining us all season long. So many great memories. And again, if you're interested, let us know if you want to be a part of Thursday Night Lights next year. It's been a magical night and a great season. On behalf of the Image Video crew and the CW staff, we say thank you for watching Honda's Thursday Night Lights tonight and all season long. We also thank our great sponsors, including Central Ohio Honda Dealers, Lifeline of Ohio, Dr. Pepper, and Columbus State Community College. Stay tuned for Family Feud next on the CW Columbus, and thank you to Stadium for picking us up this evening as well, too. The Hartley Hawks are your champs in the Central Catholic League, winning 20-13. I'll say it one final time. This has been Honda's Thursday Night Lights, presented by Columbus State Community College in 2 places, on Stadium and the CW Columbus.